Papa Hotel Tango, India Link, Palm Springs Tower, Squawk 6250.
6250.
Papa Hotel Tango, India Link, Palm Springs altimeters 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, you're requesting straight in for 13.
That's available.
Ever departure of Papa Hotel Tango, India Link, make straight in runway 13 left and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land, runway 3 left, Papa Hotel Tango, India Link, thanks.
Palm Springs, clearance, Pilatus 4658 is type PC final slam call, request clearance to Vegas S file.
Pilatus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon, unable to give you S file, and I'll be full route stepping. Pilatus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000, check flight level 2405 minutes after departure, departure frequency 126.7, swap 6316.
Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Presso 3, initially climb 7 plus expected 025, departure 167, flight 6 plus 6
Plus 4658, 3 back is correct. Tango D Mike, taxi to the ground via Echo and frequency.
Taxi to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency, Papa Hotel Tango, India Link.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 237, Charlie Alpha, Roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind, runway 26, left, report base.
Enter left downwind 26 left, and report your base, 237 Charlie Alpha.
Charlie Tower, United 242, on the visual for 20 right, returning for right base Charlie.
United 242, John Wayne Tower, runway 20 right, clear to land, wind 170.3.
Clear to land, 20 right to land.
Here 520 Yankee Kilo, Palomar Tower, runway 24, clear to land, wind 210 at 1. Number 237, Charlie Alpha, runway 26 left, clear to land.
Left base land 7 Charlie Alpha.
Palm Springs, round Pilatus 4658, East trend, weather, going for taxi.
Pilatus 4658, Palm Springs ground, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Trail right via Echo Bravo 465.
Riverside Tower, good morning, November 2903 Alpha with you on the ILS.
Number 2903 Alpha, Riverside Tower, good afternoon. Runway 9 clear low approach, report miss.
November 2903 Alpha, low approach, runway 9, next week north.
Palm Springs Tower, Pilatus 4658, ready to go, trail right back Bravo.
Pilatus 4658, Palm Springs Tower, runway 31 right, clear for takeoff.
Shift takeoff, trail right, Pilatus 465.
Here's our Yankee Kilo, Roger, taxi into the ramp via Alpha. Pilatus 4658, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure 465.
Cessna 7 Charlie Alpha is clearly active, taxi to the GA parking base.
We're 7 Charlie Alpha, and on this frequency, taxi into the south ramp via Sierra.
South ramp via Sierra with you, 7 Charlie Alpha, thanks.
Number 03 Alpha, confirm going around or going missed?
November 2903 Alpha going missing.
Number 03 Alpha, Roger, execute the published missed approach procedure.
Flying public mid-approach procedure, November 2903.
Piper 2903 Alpha, contact SoCal departure.
Contact departure, 03 Alpha.
Number 03 Alpha, departure frequency 135.4.
135.4 for departure, November 2903.
Ontario Tower, November 516 Delta Mike, inbound ILS 26 left. Or 516 Delta Mike, Ontario Tower. Good afternoon, Ontario. Wind is calm. Runway 26 left, clear to land.
26 left, clear to land, 6 Delta Mike. Ontario Tower, November 36. Correction, 516 Delta Mike, clear to be active at uniform, taxiing to the south apron.
Number 6 Delta Mike, Roger, taxi on the south ramp via Sierra. Remain on this frequency.
Via Sierra on this frequency, 6 Delta.
Riverside Tower, November 2903 Alpha, Uncertified route, November 2903 Alpha, in Alpha request taxi to the transient partner.
Number 2903 Alpha Riverside ground. In the future, don't switch to the ground frequency unless you're told to do so. Should stay with tower, exiting the runway all the way to the hold stroke point. Stay on this frequency for now. Taxi into the ramp via Alpha.
Taxi to ramp via Alpha. Broadband. November 2903 Alpha.
Runway clear. Runway clearance. November 6th. Charlie Mike Cherokee. I would like to attempt the I-4 rating today.
Cherry 76 Charlie Mike John clearance. Good evening. Good luck on the I-4 destination. Will be Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo.
That's Kilo Oscar X-ray Romeo. 620 Mike.
Yes, sir. Good luck.
I'm going to sign off and collect some information for this destination. I'll sign back in. Is that okay?
Absolutely. Just report when you're back with the I-4. And how long do you think it'll be? It's not going to be more than an hour, is it?
No. I have to file and get some charts and plates.
Wonderful. Yeah, I'll still be here, so it shouldn't be a problem. And we'll look for your flight plan to come through. Which your plan
Las Vegas Tower Plus 465 usual 1 hour right 4500.
Plus 4658 Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, clear to land, wind 1807.
Clear to land 1 hour right 465.
Plus 658 exit right, taxi into the ramp via hotel. Remain on this frequency today.
Exit right, right hotel, right frequency 465.
Ground number 95 for Whiskey Alpha's HIGHTLIGHTS, Comanche, PH for slide Alpha. Like taxi the active VFR east departure with weather.
Calling Long Beach ground, need you just verify your call sign, please.
Sorry about that. 916 Whiskey Alpha, November 916 Whiskey Alpha.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach ground, roger. And just confirm VFR eastbound.
Eastbound and repeat east ramp just south of runway 25.
Comanche 9016 Whiskey Alpha, roger, runway 26 right, taxi via Kilo.
Okay, 25 right, the Kilo, 916 Whiskey Alpha. Long Beach Tower, November 916 Whiskey Alpha, holding short of 25 right, Kilo, ready for departure via Park East.
We're on 16 Whiskey Alpha, Long Beach Tower, runway 25 right, clear for takeoff, right downwind departure, approved.
Clear for takeoff 25 right, right downwind departure 6 Whiskey Alpha.
Good day, Palm Springs, ground spanning Hotel Tango, East Ramp, India, close traffic, 31 right.
Papa Hotel Tango to Mike, Palm Springs, ground, say again, aircraft type.
Bray says NASCAR.
Skylane Tango to Mike, thank you, runway 31 right, taxi via Echo and Bravo.
Echo and Bravo, 31 right, Hotel Tango.
We're center 791 Juliet, towards ground left.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet, we see there's no exposed delivery with this field, so would we get our departure instructions with tower or with ground?
Always go with the lowest, so we'll start with ground. Just say your intentions.
Okay, Sky 791 Juliet, type Cessna 172 on the south angles with the numbers requesting VFR advisories to
Number 791 Juliet, roger, departure frequency 134.9er, squawk 2061.
1249 is 2061.
Got 901 Juliet, read back is correct, are you ready to taxi now?
In a couple of minutes, just gotta go. It's Sky 791 Juliet, south angles.
Sky 791 Juliet, roger, runway 29 right. Taxi via hotel, correction, taxi via Alpha in Juliet.
29 right, taxi by Alpha and Juliet, Sky 791 Juliet. Palm Springs, Tower, Spanning Papa Hotel Tango, Mike is holding short runway 31 right, Bravo, and ready for departure, close traffic.
Hello everyone, good to see ya. Happy Saturday. So just found some time to do the I-5 rating for PilotEdge. And if you may know, that's one of the, I think it's one of the biggest I ratings, at least in terms of distance from our departure airport to our destination airport. And especially with our Cessna 172, it's going to take some time. We're going to fly 2 hours plus to get from Burbank Airport all the way down to Las Vegas, McCarran International Airport. A long flight at 11,000 feet, and hopefully I will pass. So far, so good. So all of the ratings up to the, well, the I-4 rating went pretty well. So I'm quite pleased, actually. Let's see if we can also pass for the I-5, and which actually includes a star, so a arrival into Las Vegas, which is actually not that exciting, to be honest, if I understand it completely. It's just a published, like a SID, instead of a departure, is going to be an arrival, and it brings us right up to the point where we can start our instrument approach. So up to our instrument initial approach fix, and then we might be assigned a particular instrument approach, and we then execute that approach and get into in Las Vegas. So yeah, that's going to be exciting. Hope you're all doing well, guys. I'm missing you. I have to be honest. And Mrs. Uncertified as well. She is actually tempted to join the stream at any moment during our flight, just to chat with you guys. She's been flying a couple of days ago here. Traffic pattern. I was just doing a traffic pattern at thermal just to brush off my skills again. I'm so busy with work, and she saw me flying. She said, "Hey, I'd like to do a traffic pattern as well." And so she did, and she again reignited that interest in flying, and she was thinking about you guys as well. And I thought, well, we should do a stream again soon. And I thought, well, I'm going to do my I-5, so perhaps you'd like to join. And she said, well, I'd like to. So she will join here in my co-pilot seat and just join and chat with you guys, and be a nice company to hopefully a successful I-5 rating. MiniWebs, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. I'm really enjoying that DME equipped GNS 430 version of the default 172 that you made. Thank you so much, buddy. Really makes life, my virtual flying simming life, much better. I appreciate it. Agent Aviation, good to see you. Long time no see. Yes, sir. Pavage, hello. Scampers, good to see you all, guys. All right, so we are currently at Burbank, and we are planning to go to Las Vegas. I already filed my IFR flight plan. The weather was actually low IFR here at Burbank just a half an hour ago, and it's gradually improving, which actually made me think about possible takeoff minimums for IFR. I mean, we're usually talking about landing minimums, and I thought, well, could the weather be so bad that we are legally not able to take off from an airport? And yes, it is. There are standard takeoff minimums, also for different kinds of aircraft. In our case, with our piston one engine, it's going to be one statute mile. There is Mrs. Uncertified. Come and take a seat. Already got your headset there, so take your time. It depends on what kind of aircraft you're flying. So in our case, it's going to be a 1 statute mile visibility, which is okay. Well, it could also be, there could also be published takeoff minimums that are different from that standard takeoff minimum, which is the case, I think, of Burbank. But I didn't bother just to look that up because the weather is improving. So that's why.
Hello.
Good to see you. Yeah, we've been missing you.
It's been a while.
Oh yeah. So yeah, again, it's just a regular setup, and I will do my thing. And please interrupt at any moment and do your Mrs. Uncertified. So for the people who don't know, Mrs. Uncertified is obviously my girlfriend, but she's also been flying here on the sim. If you haven't seen those episodes, go to my YouTube channel and have a look, because she was suddenly so interested in flying that she actually learned how to fly a traffic pattern, the Cat 3 rating on PilotEdge in 1 day. And then a few weeks later, I think, you did it in the real world with a 172.
A few months, yeah.
A few months later, I don't know how much time went by. So, yeah. Okay, so all good and well. Let's get going. So let's see if my iPad is actually working. It does.
So maybe you already dealt with this, but I'm curious. I know a little bit of what you need to do for your I rating.
Yeah.
What are the points of
no return
interest?
Yeah, of interest. Well, so
the difficulties. What are the scary moments of
the
this
scary
I rating?
moments. Well, there are a couple. So this is the flight, as you can see now on my iPad.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be from the coast.
Yeah.
all the way down to Las Vegas. So and that's not really a particular challenge, but it's going to be a long distance flight. So that's a first. And if I look at my chart, this is currently Burbank. The circle, red circles, that's where we are. That's Atlantic, FBO. So most likely we're going to get assigned runway 15 at the top. So we need to taxi all the way around. But we're going to get assigned a SID, a standard instrument departure. So because we're now flying IFR, ATC is actually assigning us a published route to fly. So instead with VFR we can just decide whatever we want to do with flying, but now with IFR we need to fly a particular route. So this is called a standard departure procedure. So if you zoom in, this is the airport that we are at now. And there are all kinds of instructions depending on what runway we're gonna get assigned to fly. And so we need to fly this thing, and there are different ways to use it. We are interested in going from here, 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 and then onwards to Las Vegas. So this is one branch, you could say, of the standard instrument approach. And so the challenge for me, that's the first initial challenge, is to actually fly this thing.
Okay. So,
which is comprised of many, many different waypoints. And I'm going to use the GPS here, but it's complex, as you can see. So there are altitudes and there are headings to fly. Yeah.
I don't understand the thing.
Yeah. So so that's the idea. So we need to fly this dragon of a puzzle thing.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Well,
it's not. But again, it's if you look at it on a more elemental level, it's not that complex. I mean, if you, for example, here, depending on what runway we are going to take off from, there is a initial heading to fly. I bet that we're going to get assigned this runway 15. So once we take off and we're at 400 feet, we need to fly this heading until ATC is going to say, so the air traffic controller is going to say, well, Tim, now make a right turn to whatever heading, most likely to join this departure procedure, which is the puzzle-y route. So I guess we're going to get assigned this heading towards to Van Nuys, which is a VOR. Have we? I don't know if you still know what. VORs. Yeah. So if we're going to fly this departure from published, we're going to go like this in the entire route. But usually ATC knows, well, this is a bit of a workaround. Perhaps we can also get a straight on to Lang and then join, or perhaps go to Palmdale straight away. So I don't know what's going to happen. They're going to be creative, and we need to be creative as well. Let me see. That's the first initial chunk. So that's the departure. And then what's interesting is this departure brings us all the way down to Daggett, which is the last point of the departure. So the Daggett transition, which transitions us to the en route chunk. But Las Vegas also has an arrival chart, which starts from Daggett. So there is technically, there's not really an en route kind of chart. Let me see, this is the Cresso 4. So this is a particular similar kind of chart, only this is the arrival. Here is Las Vegas Airport over there.
Yeah.
And this is the same kind of chart, only this is from the arrival perspective. So we're going to be ending with our departure at this point at Daggett, and here we're going to continue and start our arrival. So same kind of routing that we need to fly. All the way down to Las Vegas. And here at any moment also ATC is going to say, well, from around here, go to Las Vegas. Most likely even a visual approach. I don't even want to fly a ILS. We're going to have to see what's going to happen. So this is new. I'd never flown an arrival, but it's technically the same as a standard instrument departure. It's the same kind of symbols and the same kind of information. I think, at least, if I understand it correctly. So this is the new part. Yeah.
Is there a teardrop landing involved?
Wow. A teardrop landing.
A teardrop landing.
A teardrop landing. Have I ever heard of a teardrop landing before? I don't know.
No, but the getting in the
traffic pattern. Yeah, a teardrop entry. Yeah, traffic pattern. That's that you still know. Still surprises me. So sometimes at dinner. Sometimes at dinner or whatever, she just mentioned, oh, are you going to fly or going to, and then she just introduces some fancy term that she's heard years ago of me talking, well, VFR, IFR, and I'm so surprised, like, how do you know this? But she still remembers. So yeah, this is the arrival, and yeah, that's about it. Then we got the actual approach, and there are multiple approaches that we can choose from, which we're going to talk about during the flight because we have a lot of time. So for time's sakes, also for dinner, because afterwards we're going to have dinner, let's just keep a pace going.
I won't interrupt anymore.
Well, you can. Chart Burbank. So here we are. Yes. So in our trusty Cessna 172 at Atlantic, let's get our clearance, IFR clearance. Yeah. First, our seatbelts, our trusty seatbelts, as always. Hey, Vimbar, good to see you. Kia Sutra. Treating us like a highway again on my highway. Exactly. Been a while since I caught you live. Glad to be here. Yes, Bold. Good to see you as well. Yeah, busy. I don't find the time anymore just to fly, even though I'm still so interested in flying. And also building the 172. There are good times coming where I have a bit more time just to stream again. Anyways. So, let's close the door. I'm not going to do the walk around. Let's make sure that we got everything set up in cold and dark settings. So parking brakes are set, live has fire extinguisher, blah blah blah. Door is closed, window is closed, ELT is off, flaps are up, my mixture is working, my throttle is working, my trim is set, my fuel tank should be on both, cutoff is in, alternate is in, avionics are off, everything is off except for the beacon, my batteries are off and magneto switch is off as well, and all my radio stuff is all good. Nice. Let's turn on the batteries. Fuel. Now I need a bit more fuel for this flight. Let's just fill her up. Weight and balance. Let's just say like this, considering that we have a second pilot on board. And yeah, that's fine. So that's the magic of simming. There we go. Okay, I can hear the gyros pull up. That's good. We are already squawking 1200, that's fine. Mode C. My radios can be turned on. Let's also turn down our flaps, even though we're not going to expect those. Oh, weather has just been updated. You see complete fog. Yeah, it's still the weather engine in X-Plane. I don't really like it, to be honest. Okay, that's done. I also like to be sure that my GPS, we can also turn that on, I think, with this. Yeah, so in the stream now I can show people the
nice.
database is up to date. We're not going to set it. We first need to get our clearance. Thanks for the follow, Riri. Thank you. Welcome. All right. So this stuff is all working. That's fine. Nav, this is good. Non-shader panel is good as well. What is the airport elevation? It's around 780, which seems to be about right. We can also reset our heading indicator. It should be 165-ish. 165-ish. Am I saying that right? Yeah. Something like this. And everything is set 10 degrees outside. Yeah, so again, looking outside, the weather was just fine in a sec ago. I think, strictly speaking, I mean, I cannot even taxi here. The weather is too bad for us actually to depart, given IFR rules, which is a bit annoying actually, because the weather should be improving, looking at the METAR. Let's just make sure that it's actually... It's very sudden, the weather updates here, which is a bit... Hey, Kimo, good to see you. Flight cancelled to foggy takeoff, exactly. Weather download failed. If I do custom here, does it keep it? Yeah, it does keep it. And can I then just say visibility RVR? No, I just want to have visibility. Let's put it at 7. Fine by me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, Kima, I know it's one. Yeah, it was a 1/4 a while ago, but yeah, it should be improving. But again, I'd like to take off here, so we're actually technically flying on our own weather, but I don't really mind that much. Okay, so that's all good. I'd like to start up my engines. So avionics off again, a little bit of a throttle in, fuel pump on. 1, 2, 3. That's a prime. Again, parking brakes are set and no one is walking around the airplane, so clear prop. And there it starts, mixture full in. 1200 RPM, oil pressure is already in green, only volts, but now they're gone. Alternator on, we see a rise in the M meter, that's good. Let's lean our mixture, rise in the RPM until there. So there's our lead setting. Back to 1000. Very good. Avionics on, still mode C, and we can set some frequencies here. But first I'd like just to catch my clearance in any case. First ADIS, by the way. ADIS. Would you like?
Yeah.
Jonas, you can use this one. Well, no, you can use this one for the ADIS. That's better actually. But you can use this one later as well if you like. The GPS. Yeah, because we need to set this all in. This is Burbank. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah, scampers. That was what I was thinking. Also, might be from the fire.
What?
California area.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of smoke. Yeah, but I bet that was a joke because X-Plane will most likely not simulate that here. No, that would be really awesome if it just simulates forest smoke, fires. I don't think so. It does look like it though. Yeah. Anyways, honey.
Yes.
134.5 for the COM2. 134. 134.5. While the engine is warming up.
134.5.
Thank you. You can hit COM2 so that we can hit it on.
COM2?
Yep.
Bob Hope Airport Burbank information Mike.
Mike.
1800 Zulu weather.
Here,
Chemo. 280 at 12.
Oh,
Visibility 7. Sky conditions 100 overcast. Temperature 10. Dew point 9. Altimeter 3005. Arriving runway 26. Departing runway 26. Advise on initial contact.
You have Mike. Okay, good. Yeah, well, Chemo.
Yeah, he said that it could be in the sim.
If the meter is bad due to fire, it will be in the sim. Okay. Yeah, perhaps they... yeah, I can see how that could be a possibility. Seems unlikely though in my mind, but in any case, it's a METAR, so but I just reset the visibility so we're actually able to take off here and actually find our way to the start of the runway.
Yes.
Okay, so we got Mike, that's good. Yeah, now you can actually use this one if you for the first time. She never tried the 430 here hardware on my cockpit, so that's why. If you change these are the top one is the COM, the active COM, if you still know. So that's actually this one. It's the top one.
Yeah.
But then for COM 1, and this is the standby.
Yeah.
So if you change this, the standby changes, like when you are using this one.
Okay. And
then you can hit this, and it changes the frequency.
Yeah, otherwise you can do it if then it goes faster.
Okay. Clearance 118.0. Switch. Are we connected to PilotEdge? That's a good question, actually.
Limbo clearance, good morning.
Yes.
Mary Jeff, 421 IFR to Oakland.
Okay. Now, we already have some information, obviously. We're going to Las Vegas, McCarran International, and I filed the Van Nuys 3 Daggett transition. Yeah, that's about it.
Second.
Okay.
Yeah, Limbo clearance for Mary Jeff,
Red Atlantic, and we have
IFR
Mark.
to Oakland.
We just have to wait for this conversation.
Mary Jeff 421, Limbo clearance for us.
Another pilot on PilotEdge is requesting his IFR clearance, so we need to wait just a second. Shouldn't be that busy. PilotEdge is just live.
421, clear to Oakland Airport, Padres to departure, Oros, transition as followed. Climb via SID, squawk 7465. Mary Jeff 421 is clear to Oakland, Padres 2, Oros, and as followed. Climb via the SID, squawk 7465. Mary Jet 421, read back, right?
Burbank clearance, good day, Skyhawk, Papa Hotel, Tango, Mike is at Atlantic with Mike. We'd like to request our IFR clearance to McCarran, Las Vegas International Airport for the I-5 today.
Skyhawk, PHTAM, Burbank clearance, go to Las Vegas Airport, Van Nuys 3 departure, Daggett transition, Cresso 4 arrival. Maintain 4,000, expect 1000 once minutes after departure. Departure frequency 134.2, squawk 4571.
Papa Hotel Mike is cleared to the Las Vegas McCarran International Airport, Van Nuys 3 departure Daggett transition, and the Cresso 4 arrival. Climb to 4, expect 11 after 10, 134.2 for departure, and squawk 4571 for Papa Hotel Mike.
Scott, Tango India, Mike, read back, right?
All right. So, good. We got clearance. We can go. 4, 5, 7, 1. It's going to be our squawk. 4571 is confirmed. And now we can actually program the hell out of our GPS, which is going to be relatively easy because we're flying procedural published stuff. So rather than individually have to point in every little waypoint with our previous flights, we can now be very quick. So here's our GPS, flight plan, Burbank, that's true. Procedures, I'd like to have the departure. Well, what departure do you like? Well, he knows that we're at the Burbank airport already. Van Nuys 3, enter. What runway? I'm gonna expect 15. Shall I just ask that with clearance, because we've got different Burbank clearance. Sky Pop Hotel Tango Mike, just a follow-up question. What runway can we expect for departure? 15?
That's affirmative.
Roger, Pop Hotel Mike. Okay, 15. Boom. There it is. Daggett transition. And this is the flight. Would you like to load it? Yes. And there we go. It's all in Van Nuys. We should check this actually. Just to make sure. Van Nuys 3. Ipaho, exactly. Then Twine. Yes. Lang, exactly. Slap. Bojet. Then Palmdale, Ether, Daggett, exactly. And then we need the arrival. Well, what arrival? He doesn't know, obviously. Oh, that's not what I want. Procedure, arrival. Las Vegas? Las Vegas? Yes. What departure to Crescent 4 from Daggett? And that seems to be right. Boom. Let's double check. So runway 15, Van Nuys, Twine, this is the departure. And then the arrival, Creso 4, boom, 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 all the way down to Las Vegas. Wonderful. That's about it. I do like to copy it, save it, flight plan 6 in case our avionics are off and we lose all of our points. Good. So now if we don't put in the instrument approaches yet, because we don't know, this should be the entire route. Yay! Excluding the initial vectors that we're going to get when we're going to fly. Okay, so that's awesome. So now I'm going to put in some VORs here just to make sure that I know what I'm doing. In case, yeah, so the Van Nuys 113.1. Oh, that's not the one that I like. 113.1. That's set. And I'd like to have the Ventura 108 points. No, I'd like to have that on the nav 2 actually. 108.2. Yes, and then for the standby, I'd like to have Palmdale 114.5. And on the standby of nav 2, I'd like to have Daggett 113.2. Good.
Bakersfield ground, November 516 Papa, requesting Cat 6 rating.
On the initial, here from Van Nuys to Ipaho, and then 046 for the
Aircraft calling out, you want to do the Cat 6, but the rest was muffled. Stay again, your call sign.
113.1, double checked, yes, and Ventura is 108.2, and that's also checked, so we can actually fly the initial chunk. Most likely we're going to be flown to Lang or Palmdale.
Papa, requesting Cat 6 rating.
And that's Palmdale, so I need to switch nav 1. That's 115.
516 Papa, Bakersfield ground, roger.
Yeah, 218. Yeah, okay. So that's set just as a standby. That's very, very good. Hey, Digital, good to see you.
Hey.
It's good to see you, Joost. Hope you're doing well. And good to see you publishing new flight videos, instruction videos. That's good to know. All right, 4571, we set all our frequencies. Altimeter, heading indicator. We can set our 15 here. We know what to expect. Let's also put on our nav lights.
Bakersfield ground, November 516 Papa, Super Strauss land call. Request traffic
let's go to
advisory,
ground.
destination Mojave.
123.9.
Flight level 7,500. I have information Alpha.
And tower is depending on where we are, I guess. Charts for Burbank. Tower.
Departure frequency 118.8.
118.7.
4023.
Okay, let's get to taxi.
Departure frequency 118.8. Squawk 4023. 16 Papa.
16 Papa, read back, correct.
On Burbank ground, Sky Papa Delta Tango Mike at Atlantic with Mike requesting taxi.
PHTIM Burbank ground, runway 15, taxi via Delta Bravo.
Runway 15 Delta Bravo, Papa Delta Tango Mike. Okay, Delta Bravo, so that's going to be Delta Bravo 15. Okay, let's go. Parking brakes released, brake test, looks good. Ah, thanks. Alrighty. So Delta is in front of us. Making our turn here, heading indicator, slip, turn indicator is good. Let's reset our attitude indicator. Okay. You can also set some tunes here. Okay, look at that weather.
It's a very exciting background tune.
Yeah. But look at that weather, my gosh. All right. Let's see. I think we need to go that direction, right?
Bakersfield ground, November 516 Papa, transient parking, ready to taxi.
This is an ILS area, yeah, I got it. Okay. It almost looks like it's raining in the distance. But it's that's not animated.
30 right, taxi via Alpha Bravo.
It looks really beautiful actually. Let's make a no.
16 Papa, runway 30 right, taxi via Alpha Bravo.
What weather add-on are you using? It's a question from Digital.
Digital weather. What weather? I forgot already. I think I'm using Ultra Weather XP. I don't know. Perhaps I'm now combining stuff. I think it's not XEnviro anymore. I think it was Ultra Weather something. Yeah, good one, Chemo. No, I'm not going to do that. I set all of my frequencies now for the departure. Most likely we're going to continue with our departure, so I'd rather just be prepared for that. Set up for success there than... but it's good thinking. Alright, there is Bravo to the left, looking at our taxi sign there. There we go. And now all the way down to runway 15. Track that center line, Tim. I know it's been a long time, but...
Dance the pedals.
Dance the pedals. So, how did you feel your first traffic pattern flight after a year or so? Was it yesterday?
The day before, I think.
Day before, perhaps.
At
Thermal,
it was nice.
right?
Yeah. Landing was a bit more difficult, but
But you did succeed.
I did it. Yeah. It was a bit rusty, but you got a lot quicker also with putting things in the com and the.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That's good, right?
Yeah. Definitely.
Well, and like Keith is also mentioning when he drops by, we're now at episode, what is it? 58?
Yeah.
So we're really taking our time here to get through the I ratings, but I don't mind at all.
Airport 16 Papa.
It's really
to practice it
tower,
a
runway
lot.
30 right, cleared for takeoff, wind calm.
That's a weird little wobbly thing there.
Yeah.
Runway 30 right.
Some weather station thing or a radar?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Actually, you should have made a playlist with all kinds of Las Vegas.
Yeah, that's good. What are Las Vegas songs then?
Viva Las Vegas! I don't know, that's the one thing that came to mind. Maybe there are more.
Alright. Gonna take the full runway there.
Yeah, Kimo, that's exactly my thinking.
What is he saying?
Yeah, also Viva Las Vegas.
Oh, Viva Las Vegas, yeah.
But to listen that maybe 2 hours straight would be too much.
Alright, still one way to go. And we're gonna use the entire runway length. Also been looking at a student pilot at YouTube, a new one, Tommy Thomason or something like that, with great instruction videos. At least he recorded his own student lessons in a Cessna 172.
So when you're inside,
and there were some very great tips again, VFR flying, when I think, oh, I should really remember that.
Delta airspace, you have
Alright,
two-way
here we are.
with ATC established. So
Fly
that's
quietly.
That's
nice.
Change your frequency until you're out in the echo airspace. You can't change your frequency on
Engine
your
is
own.
already warm enough.
Because at the moment you change your frequency, you're on a new frequency and you're not under two-way communication while you're inside the airspace.
Vacuum
so you have to
is
wait. So you can contact
good-ish. Pressure is good, no annunciator messages. Drop about 100, that's good, back to both. That's also good, back to both. Idle. Still pressure, no annunciator messages. Good. Alright, let's set our parking brakes here. Alright, then I want to switch here and get to my departure. 213, as you can see here, from 15. So let's set our heading indicator 213.
Departure with Romeo for Cap 5.
213.
DIGGE, Santa Maria Ground,
this is 03. Is, yeah, our heading indicator is synced. Good.
Runway 30,
We're going to depart. And if we look at our minimum climb here for runway 15, it's going to be 35 feet per nautical mile. I'm just going to climb max. So 700 feet per minute, so we're always in the clear there. Switch to tower, which is 118.7, yes, and our departure frequency was 134.2. 134.2.
Limit ground, American 421, information hotel.
We're going to get vectors.
Foxtrot, short of Charlie, request taxi IFR.
And we can also set our, yeah, we can already set our GPS here to VOR mode, so we know what we're going to do.
273 Charlie,
Which is perhaps not a safe thing. I'm rather not going to do that. 255.
Thank you, radar contact, stay altitude.
Yeah, and I need to switch. I need to load the entire departure in my mind so I can switch rapidly. So we're going to take off 213. Most likely we're going to get to Van Nuys, which is 113.1, which is set in the VOR nav 1, yes. But I'm going to set the radial, which is now set to 255, that's okay. Most likely we're going to get a shortcut to Lang or to Palmdale. And Palmdale I've already set in my standby nav 1, so I can switch. It's 114.5 checked, and it's going to be radial 218. So I just need to dial the CDI there, and I'm ready to go. Okay, I think I'm ready. We're at tower, and we're ready to go IFR. One sip of water.
Are you ready for your...
Are you ready?
I was born ready.
Then I'm ready too. Okay. There's not much to write down, but anyways.
Santa Maria ground, Santa Maria Tower, Cessna Delta India Golf Golf Echo, holding short runway 30.
Hi PH.
Hey Kim, good to see you. No problem that you're late. Hope you're doing well. Keeping the Discord server busy, which is always good. When I return to my Discord, there are like 100 new messages with him chatting with Taxi. Well, a lot of conversations there.
Nice.
Okay. Burbank Tower, Sky Pop Hotel, Tango Mike is holding short, runway 15, ready for departure. IFR.
DIGGE, Santa Maria Tower, wind 050 at 3, runway 30, clear for takeoff.
Runway 30, clear for takeoff, Cessna Delta India Golf Golf Echo.
Papa Hotel, Tango India Mike, Burbank Tower, runway 15, clear for takeoff, wind calm.
Clear for takeoff, 15, Papa Hotel Tango Mike. Good. Landing lights on, strobe lights on, mixtures full in, good. There we go. Into the soup, they say. Let's see if we can do this, guys. Pray for me. I-5. Engine is good, everything is still fine. Mixtures full in, no, I don't need flaps. There's the runway, 15. Aligns with our compass as well. There we go.
Limber clearance, good morning, Skyhawk 196, Echo Charlie, looking for VFR.
Oh, there's some strong winds here. Full left deflection. Alright, engine is still good. Engine temperatures are still good. 60 and rotates. Look at that. Alright, in the climb, let's trim a bit. Gorgeous. And there we go. Our strobe lights are flickering.
Ah, okay, that's what it is.
It's the reflections. Alright, 200 feet. $300 feet from the ground, and that's 400. Let's go to 2. Standard rate turn, 213. And keep that climb going.
106 Echo Charlie, Limber clearance, you stay to the east.
Keep that standard rate turn, Tim.
106 Echo Charlie, Roger, take my 1.
There we go. 213.
DHA, contact departure.
Over to departure, Papa Delta Mike. Switch. And so go departure, Sky Papa Delta Mike's climbing through 2,700.
Scott TIM, SoCal departure, radar contact, climb attain 1000.
Climb 1000, Papa Delta Mike. Okay, so we can continue our climb now.
Wow, you have to pay real good attention.
106 Echo Charlie, did you say you were a Skyhawk?
It's very engaging. And it's all about kind of expecting what ADC is going to tell you.
Yeah.
So now we're flying on a vector, which is good. But the next question is, what next vector are we going to get? And it's going to be some kind of radial or some kind of fix that we need to fly to.
Departure frequency 119.6.
Okay, so I'm going to let you focus now, because this is it.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
I loved it that you just joined the stream.
Bye, and good luck.
Thanks. Still keeping that climb going.
6 Echo Charlie, read back, correct?
Alright.
Skyhawk TIM, passing 3000, flighting 340.
Passing 3000, we're going to fly 340, Papa Delta Mike.
Amerijet 421, Limburg Tower, runway 27, clear for takeoff, wind calm.
Simple instruction. 3000 is coming up. 340, okay. And then we're going to get some additional instructions, I guess, to join the departures at some point. Engine is still good. Still 213 could be a bit more precise. Hey Jim, good to see you. Busy here doing my I-5, so there we go. 340. Keep that climb in. Standard rate turn. And Joe, the controller that you're listening to, always has this habit, well, it's not really a habit, but in my case, when he's controlling me, always he's going to give me new instructions, assigning me new things to do, just when I'm about to hit a point where I need to control my airplane, descend or make a turn, which is always very annoying. And makes me distracted and makes me more prone to make mistakes. Alright, we're still in the climb. We're past 3,000, so we can start leaning, even with full power. So let's improve our stuff here. Expecting another instruction that we need to join the departure at some point. GT is better. No, I don't like the flickering of my fuel flow there, so. Overflying the soup. Which is nice. Full power still. We're just a little Cessna flying to 11,000 feet. So what's up next? Van Nuys. If I look at my... Okay, we're most likely we're going to get assigned up northbound. We're not going to fly to Van Nuys. But we're going to go to Palmdale, to the east, northeast, I guess. And in that case, I already have my
Roger, 421 contact departure.
Palmdale in my nav1 standby. 114.5.
5952 Charlie 2 on ground, runway 29 right, taxi via Alpha Juliet.
Still going strong, engine is looking good. Temperature outside is near freezing, but no visible moist that we're going to fly into, so I'm just going to keep my pitot heat off. And again, no autopilot.
Limburg departure, hello Amerijet 421, passing 2000 via the Padres 2.
Amerijet 421, SoCal departure to contact.
Still climbing, so the air is getting thinner and thinner, so just keeping an eye on my HET. It's not just that you set it once, you need to continue resetting it, and also, especially when you're descending again for your arrival, that's usually when I forget to enrichening the mixture again, and so I choke my engine, which is not good.
Yeah, DGE, Santa Barbara approach. Roger, stand by. DIGGE, squawk 1557, ident 1557.
Squawk 1557 will ident. Cessna Delta Indy Golf Golf Echo.
No, I'm not just...
I am clear direct Lang, resume departure.
Clear director Lang and then resume departure from touch mic. Okay, Lang. So let's see. Let's zoom out. There's Lang. Lang direct. Enter. Boom. There we go. I can also switch my CDI here to GPS. Desired 329-ish. Yes. So I'm looking at my desired track DTK there on my GPS, so I know what my ideal line would be to fly. So I know whether I'm actually inbound to get the needle or not. So looking at my CDI now, I've already overflown it a bit. So there we go. And we got 8.92 nautical miles to go to once we reach Lang, and then we can continue our departure. Now this whole direct thing, especially when you use the GPS, which is something that I totally did not consider when I was practicing, and I'm still practicing flying IFR, is... that's why. I'm still getting off my track here, and I thought, well, that's weird because I'm flying less than 329, but if you look at the GPS, you can see a 13 knot winds blowing us to the right, so we need to compensate for that. I never considered actually learning, or the seriousness of being prepared using the GPS, the GNS in this case. How you can skip forward in your flight plan, for example. So when I was flying my first IFR flight, I believe also I streamed it. I just intuitively, naively thought, well, I'm using the GPS, so this is going to be an easy flight. But I wasn't actually prepared how to use the GNS, and so I was actually in much bigger trouble. I already knew how to fly radials, and I should have done that instead, and take my time just studying the GNS first. Still, EGT is now getting lower, so we can further leaning our mixture, which is good. We're gaining on that needle, which is good. We got 6.8 miles for Lang, which is good. If I zoom in, there's Lang, so we know what we're doing. Just instrument check here. 315 is the compass. This also reads on our heading indicator, which is good. We got our altimeter setting is good. Attitude, speed is good. We can also set our calibrate our heading indicator here, or our airspeed indicator. True airspeed. We filed 110.
Amerijet 421 contact Los Angeles Center.
It's freezing outside, no moist, so no pitot heats. Fuel quantity is good, EGT is still good, temps are good, pressure is good, vacuum is good, amps are good. Lights, landing lights off, nav lights off, and we know what we are doing. Flying to Lang, and then we're going to continue that departure. Done.
Radio contact, 3004, Delta India Golf.
PilotEdge, question Tim, does the Reality XP 43 have TCAS? I thought so. I think it does, but I've been looking at how to actually enable that, and I couldn't find it. Or I could find it. There is a checkbox that I'm not going to bring up now because it messes things up. But I didn't see other aircraft depicted on my GNS when I was flying, generated by either PilotEdge or real human flight. So I think it should be able to do that, but I don't know how yet. 7,000, 3,000, or actually 4,000 to go. We're on the needle. So in this case, I could also say, why bother flying this by hand? Because I pretty much know what I'm doing, at least up to now. So let's see if we can enable the autopilot, even though I'd like to fly without an autopilot, which shouldn't be that easy, that difficult. Let's see, autopilot on, then nav on. There we go. And I want to have vertical speed, and it should be set at 500. Yeah. It's not that difficult, I guess. Just make sure that my speed is keeping up there. We're just a Skyhawk flying now at 7,500. So I'm a bit concerned. I mean, our ceiling is much higher. It's about 14,000, I guess, or 14,500. Was it 14,500 for the Skyhawk? I'm not sure. You see our speed is already dropping. Our airspeed. And we do need some air particles there to keep us flying. Now that climb restriction is a standard, should be 500. We should be able to keep flying at 500. You can see the airspeed is slowly dropping back, which is a concern. It could also be because the airspeed, obviously the air is getting thinner, but I guess that's still a problem for us, right? We need to be able to stay afloat. Too lean in the climb. Let's enrichen it a bit. And let's see the difference. I mean, I would expect to get the highest burn, so we just need to, we have to especially lean. Lean for maximum RPM in the climb. Exactly. Exactly. That's what I would say as well. Our speed is 75-ish.
Thank you, runway 11, correction.
Coming up to Lang.
Runway 11, taxi via Alpha. Cross runway.
R and nav modes.
Cross that disregard.
So this should work. Airspeed is further dropping. I'm going to go 400, and I should actually report this to ADC. let's see what the thing does. There's Lang, 1 nautical mile. Well, the airspeed is gaining. And still this, I think the Skyhawk should be able just to climb. I mean, that's how, if I remember my Skyhawk building times with Playmaker and stuff, I believe I've read in the POH.
Cam, you go ahead and make your turn, or you're going to overshoot there.
Yeah, I'm looking for my autopilot to make the turn, so we're just curious here. I believe it's going to turn in just 2 seconds.
Echo Charlie, radar contact, still got
yeah, and it does. It's nice that Joe is watching with us, but... And the next leg to slap is initialized.
Local departure, good morning, Skyhawk 1986, Echo Charlie, level 2200.
Looks good.
106 Echo Charlie, still got departure, leaving Bravo airspace, cancel altitude restriction, resume on navigation.
Cancel altitude restriction, resume on
No,
navigation.
exactly, Kim. But in any case, we're just a Skyhawk. We're flying really slow, so you don't need to anticipate that much for our turns.
Only radar service terminated squawk VFR cancels your radar.
All right, 400 does it.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I will keep with you, Echo Charlie.
You don't have to if you once you leave the Bravo here. As you just let me know what you want to do.
I will keep on frequency.
I agree as well, Toto. But I think Joe is just caring. He makes such remarks more often, also during my flights, and I'm actually loving that. He's really taking notice, and he's also interested. He has an interest in my stream, so it's good to see. But I agree. I didn't overshoot as well. We're going very slow, so we can just turn on the on the waypoint if we like. Still in that climb. I'm gonna mention that we were unable to fly at 500 just to be professional. Let's see what Joe is saying. Circle departure, Skyhawk Patel Tango Mike. Just for your information, we're noticing that our Skyhawk is not able to climb at 500 feet per minute. So we can do 400 if that's okay, up to 11,000.
PHKM, yep, that's fine. You're only required to do the. I don't think there's a different minimums on that departure there. Actually, I think there is, but it's only up to like 2,000 feet.
True.
You're only required to do the IFR minimums, which in this case should be standard, 200 feet per mile. You're doing 100 over the ground, which is a mile and a quarter per minute. You're doing 500 feet per minute. That's plenty.
Yes, it's the 200 nautical mile per feet. Yeah, okay. Good to know. Thanks.
Yeah, just watch that because sometimes they have, like, I believe in this case, off the ground there you have higher minimum. I think it's like 495 per mile or something like that. That's the only thing you need to worry about there.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Thanks, Joe.
Does everybody know my name?
Only those who care, Joe.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Amerijet 421 contact Los Angeles Center 133.2.
All right.
Correction.
EGT can still be improved, I think. So let's further lean. That's good. But still, I would say that was my story, and I should continue there. When I was building the 172, I believe I've read that the Skyhawk
Amerijet 421 Los
was
Center climbing
built
level 320
for maintaining 500 feet per minute up to
6 Echo Charlie, you got traffic.
14,000. And the current rep, the rating
no
extension pack that I'm using is apparently not able to do so. And I always felt that the engine was not that strong with the rep, but I checked in with sim coders and they say, well, it's by the book. We're sorry, it's by the book.
Tower when you're short of your departure position.
Yeah, Toto, that's also my reference in my mind. It was 500 feet. And it was not really the aim. I believe that Keith was talking about this in the PilotEdge workshops. If someone can look that up, we can give feedback to Joe. I think he might appreciate that. 1,000 feet to go to 11,000, by the way, or 700.
Or 968 Lima Tango. San Luis Tower, straight out departure approved, runway 11, clear for takeoff.
Just one pilot is the payload. Thanks for the follow, Pat Stan. Thanks, welcome.
516 Papa, yeah, I think you got disconnected. No, actually,
but yeah, that makes sense, Toto.
Your radar there.
It was a good follow-up question, but I'm just flying with one pilot here. But we do have
not sure what happened there. It doesn't matter.
Quite some fuel aboard, but 500 feet to go.
And have a good land.
Airspeed is still dropping.
Papa, contact Mojave Tower at 127.6.
Engine is still looking good. Also, what really irritates me is that the dashboard here of the default 172 is much too extended, so I cannot view my annunciator panel here, which is something that I'd like to improve upon with our 172. But nothing is going on there.
Bus 4657, Santa Barbara clearance file. Can you file a flight plan?
Okay, going to Beaujay. Everything is still in the green. -8 outside. At 12,500 feet, I believe we need to be on oxygen for 30 minutes. But Toto, do you know? You must. I bet you know.
Plus 4657. That's not
do
the
we? After those 30 minutes.
Golf in your call sign is the problem. So your call sign.
Do we then need to descend back to below 12,500, or should we?
Remove this flying golf from your call
then
sign.
Can we then fly without oxygen for 30 minutes until we have to again get on oxygen for 30 minutes? What's the procedure actually? I know it's something about 30 minutes on oxygen when you reach 12,500 for the Skyhawk.
Mojave Tower.
Check.
Kind of on your own pattern. That's all right. Make a left downwind. Correction. Make a you can.
Very good.
Left 270 for a straight in runway 26. Clear land.
Okay, now we can also pick up some speed here.
Did you get the feeling we forgot something?
Oh, I love those sound snippets. And also in terms of the clock, but in this case. Now that's the real advantage of having a target altitude set into your autopilot. Even though I was counting, I was aware that we're coming up to 11,000 just by chatting. I still forgot. Thanks to Toto, we didn't.
Okay, number 165, but the first thing you want to do is you want to get the airplane going in the direction ATC wants it to go.
Thanks for the subscription, Kim.
So even if you miss or
for the cheer,
don't quite understand, but you understand it's a left turn, you can start a left turn here. So it's a left 270. That's not a heading.
11,000. EGT is also going up now, obviously.
3/4 of a.
Let's just get full power and go as fast as we can.
So basically,
bit of a
runway
tailwind.
was off your right side. If I told you to turn to the right, you wouldn't have made it to the runway. So you're going to loop to the left.
Sniper!
Turn around for a.
Doing it for a while, so really pleased to know they're still in use. Yes, they are, Snipe. That was the voice of Sniper, by the way, for those who don't know. He recorded those snippets as a gesture for other subscribers to remind me during flight of stuff that I always forget. One thing is to set the clock, but there are other things.
HJM, contact Joshua approach 126.1, see ya.
Joshua approach 126.1, Papa, touching me.
Or 516 Papa, wind 030 at 4.
Joshua approach, Sky Papa Delta Tango Mike is level 11,000.
16 Papa, affirmative, clear to land.
Ah, stepped on.
DHAM, Josh approach Palmdale, altimeter 3006.
06 Papa Delta Tango Mike. Alright, that should be one tad up. Okay. Alright, cruise checks. 3 and a bit, still synced with our heading indicator. Altimeter is set.
GGE contact fixed with approach.
Airspeed is good. Reset to 11,000, that's good. Freezing outside, no. Moist, no. Torpedo, heat, Fuel quantity is still good. EGT is good. Fuel flow is good. Temps are good. Pressure is good. Vacuum is good. Amps are good. And charging, I don't see any annunciator there. We don't need any lights. Strobes are still on. Really, we know what we're doing. We're flying with the autopilot leveled. Going to Palmdale. So we're still flying the departure. 11,000, and we can do our ATIS and prepare for our arrival actually. Still, we've got a long way to go with our 172. Also, let's just very briefly enjoy the outside view. 11,000. Makes it very apparent how the clouds depictions work actually in one big circle surrounding us. Really looking forward to that day when Active Sky Next is going to announce a weather engine, not just weather prettiness, but also the engine for X-Plane. We'll have to see. Still on 132 points. Very good. Thanks, Toto. That happened to me. I did.
25 Los Angeles Center. Good morning. Send me Ironman to arrival.
I did hit the swap button. And I've hit it also previous times, but not hard enough for the real sim gear to switch over. And I should also incorporate just seeing whether the frequency has swapped. So thanks for noticing, Toto. Appreciate that. As always.
Amerijet 421, contact Los Angeles Center 133.2.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, and I've also seen videos of pilots flying IFR or even VFR where there wasn't really visible moist, but there was still ice forming at least on the windshields and stuff. So yeah, even though we don't see any, we're not flying really through real visible moist. We could still use the pitot heat, so turn on. I'm convinced.
Amerijet 421, Los Angeles Center. Good morning.
Yeah, but I should really incorporate just to see whether my frequencies has actually been swapped. So it's still my own responsibility, I think.
Departure Palm Springs as
all right, going to Palmdale, 3.47 nautical miles. That's good. Let's prep already.
Expect one.
We're
2000,
still
departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 3576.
Yeah, coming up to Palmdale, and then we're going to go to Daggett. To be honest though, that this is actually one I rating where flying Slant Alpha is actually really fun and pretty much doable, especially with a Skyhawk that doesn't fly that fast. So why I'm flying Slant G is just for the sake of just having a wonderful GPS here aboard, but in terms of practical training, there's no real reason. Anyways, Daggett, MEA 9000. So we can do, I mean, this departure asks of us that we can do all kinds of cross radial stuff to get ourselves going on this departure, which is really nice. Okay, next leg coming up.
Lotus 4657. Go ahead and try to refile the flight plan. It looks
10
like
seconds.
It, for whatever
8,
reason,
7, 6, 5, 4. There's the turn.
968 Lima Tango, Santa Maria Tower, go ahead.
Everything is still looking good. All right. I'm actually going to change the chart to the Cresso 4 arrival. So there's Daggett again to the left. Las Vegas approach, blah, blah, blah. 8 is 132.4. 132.
968 Lima Tango, enter right downwind, runway 30, report midfield.
All right, we cannot pick Las Vegas up just yet, which
enter right downwind, runway 30, report midfield.
Is not that surprising. It's also some new thing in previous flights, when my notepad was full, at least on my iPad, I cleared the sheet and then started all over again. But there was a time when I actually needed a previously noted frequency, and then it was gone. So, especially because we're digital, just add a new sheet. So you keep track of, you keep that log of all those ATC instructions. Yes. So there's the arrival still. Now, at around WIG, you can see there are some vertical navigation planning information. So that those are altitudes that you can expect, not that you need to fly, but you can expect ATC to instruct you. This is for turbojets. We're not turbojet, obviously. We're a piston aircraft. Shoot 172.
Runway 31 left, taxi via Whiskey Alpha.
And that WIG thing there, vertical navigation, is most likely there because just below WIG there's quite a substantial mountain, I believe, tops at around 8,000 feet. So with 2,000 feet of separation there, I guess our minimum should be around 10,000, which is true, looking at the MEA. So I'm going to expect some kind of a crossing restriction there. And most likely once we get to Boulder City, we will already get assigned vectors for Las Vegas, which is going to be, usually Las Vegas has beautiful, gorgeous, clean VMC weather. So I guess we're going to get assigned a visual approach, which is the most straightforward way to get down. So where's Creso? Yeah, there's the Creso. That's there.
Who was that calling for the I-10? The first half of your transmission was broken.
From over Creso, then over to Boulder 213 to Boulder Vortec, runway 18 and 19. Expect radar vectors to final approach, just radar vectors. And from Boulder Vortec, expect ILS approach for runway 26 and right.
I don't have a 1-1 Golf on the network. Check your call sign.
So I guess from Creso we're gonna get vectored upwards, northbound. I've also been looking at a arrival that just goes right into Las Vegas, because usually I think that the GA, small GA, is going to get assigned approaches on 19 right. I think
I don't know what's going on. What's your
the GA ramp is at the west side, the northwest side of the airport. But I couldn't find any arrivals right into the Las Vegas Vortec, which connects to the instrument approaches of 19 left and 19 right. So we need to go to Boulder, or we're heading towards Boulder City, and then apparently get assigned these vectors.
4657, roger. Clear to Santa Maria Airport for the I-10. The Flight 5 departure, San Marcos transition.
But it's interesting stuff. I also believed that
3,000, correction, climb
coming up to Daggett.
3,000, expect
Thanks for the follow,
10 minutes after
Daegu, BRQ. Thanks for the follow. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the stream. I believe that coming up to Daggett, or coming up to an arrival, a star, we need to get clearance to fly the star. Like with the SID, once we request our clearance on the ground. But I couldn't find anything on that, which I guess means that that's not true. We don't need to wait before we can once ATC is going to say you're clear to fly the arrival, which I would expect, but apparently that's not the case. I don't know if I'm wrong here, but
November 11 Golf, Santa Barbara clearance.
Thanks, agent.
Santa Maria Airport, Flight 5 departure.
Thank you for dropping by.
Transition direct. Climb view set, except maintain 3,000. Expect 6,000. 10 minutes after departure.
Right, Toto.
Frequency.
Makes sense. Thanks.
120.55. Squawk 3715.
So where are we? Zooming out. Have some situational awareness here. So there's Daggett. And then we still need to go. That's when the Creso 4 arrival starts. So yeah, with our cute little 172, it's quite a flight, but I don't mind. I don't mind. We're going as fast as we can. Full power, leaned. Let's do a check again. Alright, magnetic compass 6.5. We are already suffering from gyro drift 6.5. Altimeter still set. Edge indicator, everything is fine-ish, I guess. We're pointing downwards a bit, but I guess that's because we're going that fast. I don't know. Don't really mind. It's not really that important though. But airspeed is good, obviously. About 120 true airspeed. Corrected. I filed 110, and we can be 10 knots faster or slower than our filed cruise speed on average. So we're still okay. Otherwise, we need to notify ATC. Outside it's cold. Well, we are now running our pitot heats because why not? That's a good remark of you guys. Fuel quantity is still good. EGT is still perfect. Fuel flow is good. Temps are good. Pressure is good. Vacuum is good. M's are good. And again, unshaded messages, none.
You gave me your
We don't need any other lights than we have right now. Beacon and strobe.
Call sign.
There's our turn. And what are we doing? Well, we're just continuing our departure flight now to Daggett. You can see it already mentioned as a waypoint. 16 nautical miles. It's usually just one flight that we're doing on the stream. Is now just one piece of our departure, which is kind of cool.
5952 Charlie Torrance ground. Thank you. Runway 29 right. Taxi
We already
Alpha,
prepped the arrival, which just brings us to the initial fix where you can commence the instrument approach. So the arrival doesn't bring us right to the airport, but it brings us to the start of the approach, whatever approach we're going to get assigned to.
Charlie, all you need is your call sign.
We have COM2 set on the ATIS of Las Vegas, so we have the weather. I think it's still active. Yeah, it is. We have not picked it up just yet. 132.4.
DIGG, contact Bakersfield Tower 118.1. Yeah.
Yeah, 132.4. So we're still not in reach, which doesn't surprise me at all. It's 60 miles away.
DIGG, how do you read?
And what I haven't been doing, which I should have done, is even though it's good for me, it was good of me to set my navs for the departure as redundancy. I haven't updated my navs, even though I'm just flying casual GPS, and I'm off now towards Las Vegas. I should have actually updated my my navs, and I didn't do that, which is not good. So
thank you. Stand by.
this is arrival 113.2, for example.
Dakota 350 Papa Bravo, Palm Springs Tower, wind 0704, runway 31 left of takeoff.
And then we've got Boulder 116.7. But that's a total of 61. Is there a changeover point? I think we'll not be able to read Boulder City, so that's why Hector is there. So 112.7. 112.7 on the NAV2. Switch is now active. We can already set that to 032-ish.
Great, then the Tango taxi parking via Alpha Passenger Cat 4.
And then 116.7 and the standby.
Yes. Number 8 Lima Tango, just be advised.
And that's going to be
already had you
033 or 213 actually, which we can already set it doesn't do anything once we're changing the CDI here because we're in GPS mode.
9525 contact Los Angeles Center 135.5.
Good. Kim 20, yes.
525 Los Angeles Center, LA Alpha.
Yeah, that's true, Kim. This is the trend, the changeover point. But I was looking at one for Boulder. So I was looking whether we can actually...
Charlie, Burbank,
oh, but it is obviously part of Boulder, yeah.
Daggett transition as filed.
Yeah, so apparently we can read
after Daggett to be
Boulder,
Cresso 4 arrival there from Daggett.
83 nautical miles away from
Daggett,
Boulder.
Van
Yeah.
3 departure, Daggett transition, Cresso 4 arrival. Maintain 4,000.
Yeah, so for Denby,
1,000 once minutes after departure.
at least the initial chunk here of the arrival, we need Hector. If we were flying Slant Alpha or less than Golf. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Still think that I'm ahead of the game.
12 Charlie, read back correct.
Yeah, I can almost look like the my flight plan is not continuing after Daggett if I look at the screen here, but when I zoom out it thickens the line and you can see that there's actually, it's still, you can also go to the flight plan page obviously, but visually I was just thinking, okay, let's make sure. 15 nautical miles to go.
11 Golf, Santa Barbara ground, runway 15 left, taxi via Bravo, Charlie, cross runway 25.
Yeah,
Bravo.
I know, Kim, I know. Although I didn't realize that the I-5 is the long I rating. Should have picked something faster to flight. I just sent to know the ideal machine for this rating. Yeah, Toto. How is it going, the sales? With the awesome TBM. I believe you're doing great. I mean, PilotEdge was covered with TBMs, let alone streams and stuff. And I was also thinking of you when Steve-O Knievo was mentioning infinite flight in the TBM. I thought, oh, that should be Toto. It should have referred to X-Plane and the TBM of Toto, but it was infinite flight. It was a good marketing trick there.
You got to do that on your own.
But I hope everything is well, Toto. Good work.
No problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can't issue any turns there. You're so low. You're below the MVA.
And I'm really looking forward to continue my build on the 172 as well. Now the problem is I can do it graphically, so with Blender and just the 3D modeling, which I actually prefer. That's my particular interest, just tinkering with what the Cessna should look like. Also making interaction points in the Skyhawk inside and outside of things that I really like to be there in our own 172. But obviously, a lot of the stuff that really brings your Cessna alive will be just programming. And I'm not a programmer. And it takes too much time for me to learn C++ just for the sake of programming my 172. So, but who knows? But just the artistic part of just making it all look great and even interactive. I'm really looking forward to that process. So once I completed all my I ratings, that's the next thing to do. And I will stream from my other computer here and continue the build of the 172. I cannot wait, but first these I ratings. Carpet Bond has YouTube with reference to X-Plane and RTBM. Oh really, Toto? Is that true? I didn't read the comments of that video. Oh, that's really good. I'm hoping that you're taking some profit out of that Steve-O Knievo video, though, in those terms. All Cessnas are different, some planes are the same. You can code it in Lua. Yes.
You already had the landing clearance. You could land.
Landingers doesn't have to be CPO. Oh, okay. Lua. I'm not at all knowledgeable of any scripting code for X-Plane, so I guess Lua is a bit more easy.
SoCal approach 124.5.
Yeah, but I just like to, and it's also not just again I've mentioned this on that series as well, building the 172, and I mentioned it also on this stream or in this series. I know there's not a real need for another 172. There are already many 172s out there. The default 172 is perfect. Well, perfect. It's good enough. But I just like to learn how to build a 172. I like to fly my own 172, which is some additional intimacy with the Skyhawk. And that's why I'm building it, and I just have so much appreciation for aircraft developers, for either Explain or Prepare. The care they put in is just incredible.
Approach, runway 24 right or runway 25 left.
So I like to take part of that as well, and that's why I'm building the 172. And just showing you guys, perhaps inspiring you to build your own aircraft as well. Because it's not that difficult though. Aqua Funk, thanks for the follow. Welcome aboard.
Yeah, 525, thank you, expect that. Roger, you know, 525. Lots 4657, Santa Barbara ground, runway 15 left, taxi via Charlie.
Yeah, 182 is also much needed. I believe Miniwebs was working on that, I think.
11 Golf. Looks like you're just
using the default 172 and just adding a prop lever there and some stuff.
4 minutes ago.
Should also need, obviously, all kinds of other tweaks, engine, airframe wise, but
you can either advise at that moment, okay, it's
all
going
right.
to take me a few minutes, I got to
39 nautical miles
or
to
you can
Daggett.
start your taxi, and then when you get down there near the end of the runway,
Means that I'm, or means,
and, you know, where you
I
stop the
feel
whole
that
run,
I'm a
you can do
bit
it there.
more,
Either way.
paying a bit more attention now on what's coming up. I still feel that I need to get clearance for the arrival, but oh no.
Preferable to do it on the ramp.
Wait. I've already got clearance for the arrival because that was part of my IFR clearance at the ground. Yeah, so this is a non-issue. Was a non-issue, but I've seen others fly the I-5.
Charlie, Limber ground. 7044.
And they weren't cleared for the arrival as part of their initial IFR clearance on the ground, and they weren't given a clearance en route.
Cirrus 8480 Romeo.
And that surprised me a bit. Just on you're saying, yeah, Roger, Toto, yeah, without a clearance, yeah.
5952 Charlie, Torrance Tower, runway 29 right, clip take off.
Thanks, guys. So what's in the Explain flight sim world? Is there anything new, exciting, some news? I haven't found the time just to update myself. What are the next launches of new updates for Explain or new aircraft, or
contact Oakland Center, 127,
what do we need to look out for? I have no clue actually.
Cirrus
Well, 11.30 Explain, I guess.
Cirrus 848 Sierra Romeo, point me to approach. Just give us
But
a
anything
couple
else, I don't
more
know.
seconds. I was actually, we actually stepped on each other. I was actually about to call you. Go ahead with your request.
Yeah, we're just
oh, that's also true, Toto.
West of
Right.
Van Nuys, request flight
And that was the
following
case
to
with
Oxnard,
the other
and
guys
then
flying the
practice,
I-5 as well.
ILS approach to 25.
That they were given an S-filed thing, and that must have included the arrival, and that includes the arrival. All right, I learned something new. Makes sense, guys.
Charlie, or where are you coming from?
I departed from Van Nuys, VFR.
Okay, all right, for it's your Charlie, or Sierra Romeo. All the towered airports are controlled on PilotEdge, so you need to contact us for ATC service. When I say us, I don't mean Point Magoo approach. I mean PilotEdge controllers.
All right.
For service.
Yeah, it's a long flight. I know.
Airports, if it's
55 on the
area,
compass.
then it's,
kind of corresponds to our heading indicator. Now it does. Altimeter is still set.
Taxi and all that
Speed is
kind
good.
of
Outside air temperature.
1441.
Pitot heat is on. Fuel quantity is good. EGT is good. Fuel flow is good. Temps, oil temps. Pressure is good. Vacuum is good. Ammeter is good. Lights, strobe, beacon is okay. Full power. We're leaned. Already checked with the EGT. What are we doing? We're flying to Daggett. GPS and GPS mode. Autopilot. And yeah, next point is going to be perhaps a shortcut. I guess not. We still need to fly over to Cresso. As part of the arrival, but most likely we're going to get assigned a descent.
Oxnard altimeter is 3005.
3005 80.
Toto, when you submit a real-world flight plan, what happens on the ATC backend is your flight plan gets checked for tons of potential issues,
Yes, I did.
including
Thank you.
terrain obstruction, clearance, airspace
I
issue,
will
traffic.
use
Right.
power in the future.
Yes, I guess so. Still no ATIS. COM2 is on, I believe, on the ATIS frequency of Las Vegas. But again, from Daggett on, still about 100 miles to go, something like that. So no doubt or no surprise that we are not picking up Las Vegas McCarran International Airport's ATIS. Let's also just enjoy the view. I'm so focused on my instruments. All of those circly. Feels like we are the center of the virtual flight sim X-plane world here, which we actually technically are. So all these clouds are generated just around us. Doesn't look that pretty, but it's not too bad. When clearance theory then says clear this file, that means that you didn't violate any of those checks and you're good to go as was on paper. Otherwise they will give you a new route or just adjust parts of your file route. Then you need to have your original route handy and make adjustments. Roger. That's also something that additionally sparked my interest in PilotEdge, is not just learning how to fly VFR or IFR, but also gaining a better understanding and insight in the sophistication of the air traffic system. How all that stuff works, why those procedures are there, and how that, I mean, any question pretty much any question on the PilotEdge forums about IFR or about VFR, there's an answer or a reason that something is there. For pretty much anything. It's just it's such a saturated, well, not really saturated system, but it's interesting. Aside just from being a pilot and flying it, knowing why all of the systems are there and those checks are there, it's incredible that we built this system. Yeah, and there still be things. There must be things that we can still improve on, but
350 12,000 feet.
350 Papa Bravo, SoCal approach clear direct from owner, descend and maintain 8,000, resume on navigation. Ontario altimeter is 3006.
Roger, clear direct to Palm down to 8,000 feet and 3006, November 350 Papa Bravo.
Roll 507 Charlie Limburg Tower, runway 27, clip takeoff.
Still going strong.
4657 view about another minute. Cirrus 11 Golf, contact departure.
So Daggett.
Departure 11 Golf, 3000. Or 11 Golf. Santa Barbara departure, radar contact.
Yeah.
Except maintain 6,000. And what's
Joker or Wig? Perhaps we're going to get some crossing restrictions there, altitude restrictions. And then once we're flying from Creso to Boulder City, or Wig to Boulder City.
Okay, no. What's your planned?
Most likely we're going to get some vectors to the north to get to McCarran Airport.
Looks like you're doing about 215
and
right
I
now.
bet we're going to get a sign 19 right.
Do you plan on holding that or change it?
So we can park at the northwest ramp.
Pilot 4657, runway 15 left, clear for takeoff.
ATIS 132.4, it's still set and in COM2 active, so waiting.
Yeah, 525.
We still have some time to prep for any possible instrument approach, but
270, reduce speed to 180.
turn heading.
Can have a look at the weather.
270, speed
Most likely at Las Vegas, clear skies, but
I might struggle to see the wrong
METARs, no winds, 10 second miles of visibility, few at 15,000, broken 25.
95,
TAFs,
25, Roger. I'm showing
variable winds, 5 knots.
Visibility, so it's
Yeah,
just gonna be a minute before you pick
deserty like clear skies.
Approach Cirrus 8480 Romeo. We're going to request that.
Kim, there's still a lot of improvements going on, most of them due to better technology. For example, narrowing the band around an airway due to GPS accuracy, so much traffic fits in the same. Roger. Yeah, interesting. And also the replacements of VORs, I guess, and as NDBs, for example, with GPS, reference RNAV stuff.
ILS runway 25, practice approach at Oxnard, maintain VFR at all times.
And I can imagine that at one point we also going to get rid of voice communication, because this stuff can all be transmitted through text, right? Automatically to our autopilots, and we as pilots can just confirm that stuff. But why do we need to do this by voice? Why not just directly speak from the system, from autopilot to autopilot, or well, not really from autopilot to autopilot, but from ATC to autopilot and back. I mean, voice communication is still prone to mistakes. Not that much, I guess, because of how well the system works, but I can imagine the next evolution of ATC just going through text alone. Or graphics, perhaps even, just right into the Garmin.
Just about, you know, it's 525.
11 Golf has traffic inside.
Alright, coming up to Daggett, and that completes our departure.
7 is climbing the other sits for 3,000.
Plot is 4657.
Fence and blah 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 is all about that. Okay.
2,000.
Hackable, yeah.
Plot 4657, thank you.
Yeah, perhaps could be a consideration that it's hackable, but it's interesting. I don't know what the considerations might be, but the fact that it can be done through text.
11 Golf, stay airspeed.
Why not? And that would be a bummer, I think. I mean, in the end, it can all be automated, and the pilot will just be here just to monitor, at least for the real commercial flights, I guess, just if you like to fly for fun. I hope that voice will still be there, because I think it's a really nice dimension to flying. But yeah, I guess safety comes first, or technology comes first. Oh man, this is a long flight. No kidding.
And report the airfield site currently 11 o'clock and 8 miles.
Turn left heading 250, turn to maintain 1,500 yards, 525.
Do you have the airport?
Fancy's Future Air Navigation System, sounds good.
PHCIM, contact Los Angeles Center, 134.65.
134.65, I'll take back.
1507 Charlie, contact departure.
Los Angeles Center.com 2015, level 340.
.com 2015, Los Angeles Center, 70
and we
Hollywood 1 around.
Checked our swap of the frequencies.
70 Hollywood 1, .com 2015.
Los Angeles Center, Sky Pop Hotel Tango Mike is level 11,000. Not 11. 11,000.
PHCIM, Los Angeles Center, the Daggett altimeter 3007.
07, Pop Hotel Mike.
948, limit Tango Center, rear ground.
1 TAD. Added to my altimeter. Good. You're almost halfway.
Yeah, 525. The heading was supposed to be 250. Verify
Yeah, it
heading
feels like I'm already there, but
heading 260
you're
now.
right. Getting a stronger tailwind though. That's good.
8480 Romeo, 3 miles from Kudak, flighting 230. Maintain 3,400 or above until established. Local altitude cleared.
Looks like Las Vegas kind of scenery to me.
3,400 or above.
So we're definitely getting there. And with this photo reel, it looks so pretty. I love desert scenery, actually. Also around 29 Palms. It's just gorgeous. All Palm Springs, that's my favorite airport, as you know.
November 8, Tango, runway 30, taxi via Hotel Bravo 7. Cessna 1507 Charlie, SoCal departure, rate of contact, Clementine 6000, and passing 3,500, clear direct Oceanside.
Big TFR here. It's not active. It's going to be active today, but later today.
Santa Barbara clearance cleared to Santa Maria Airport for the I-10, Flop 5 departure, San Marcos transition. Direct, climb via sit, accept, maintain 3,000. Expect 6,000, 10 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 120.55,
Alright.
squawk 45.
So we got the runway 19 right GPS. Now the arrival, the Creso 4 arrival, I believe, is telling in the textual description that we can expect radar vectors for the 19 runway. Most likely we're going to get assigned to 19 right or 19 left or right runway.
4553, rest of repat correct.
And if that's the case, most likely I guess we're going to get assigned a vector to the Las Vegas Vortex and start from there, 5,800 to Hamig, then make a turn there, procedural turn, parallel entry or teardrop or whatever we like, as long as we stay in that protective area of the hole or the turn, which is fine. So this is quite basic actually in terms of minimums. And then we do have RNAV and WAS equipped. This is going to be pretty basic, but the weather is perfect, so I guess we're going to get a visual approach anyway. Then 19 left is pretty much the same. So again, I guess from Boulder City we're going to get assigned a vector to the Las Vegas Vortex and then go up northeast. Hammock, same drill.
940 Lima Tango, Santa Maria Tower, runway 30, cleared for takeoff.
And we can also get assigned 26 left, I guess, but I'm not sure whether that's actually something that is assigned to our slow piston aircraft. I guess not. These are the longer runways, so these are used for the bigger airliners, and so for the sake of traffic flow,
Lotus 4657, go ahead.
you don't want a slow going 172 there, and even going 100 knots is slow in our cruising terms. So I guess they like to separate.
4657, roger cross San Marcos 6000.
Separate our
back course alpha approach, spec straight in runway 30.
Our cute 172 from this approach, and so it's going to be something like Boulder City or earlier, and then we're going to get a fly over those 26 runways, downwinds,
Number 11 Golf, Santa Barbara ground,
and land.
Runway 15 left, taxi via Bravo, Charlie, cross runway 25 at Bravo.
I guess.
I believe there was one more aircraft coming.
And then we got Las Vegas airports.
Zero Bravo, clear direct Van Nuys, and set to maintain.
19 right elevation is 2,000 or 2,100. So I guess 3,100 is going to be our traffic pattern.
CBM 0 Bravo, correction on the altitude 6,000.
And we are going to park over there. Which is not a big thing, but good to know. No hotspots, most likely. No hotspots. We're not going to go all the way down to that runway, so, or that end of the runway. So it's going to be just parking at the northwest ramp. Okay, Daggett is coming up. 9 miles. We're going to make that turn to Jokur.
Yep, loud and clear.
Again, has a crossing altitude restriction there, but only applies to turbojets. Alright, it's time for another instrument check here. So let's get back our scratch pad just in case. Compass 4-ish. Looks good. I'm on a heading indicator. Altimeter is set. Altitude indicator is good. Speed is good. Temperature outside is freezing. Pitot heat is on. Quantity is good. EGT is good. Fuel flow is good. Temps are good. Pressure is good. Vacuum is good. Amps are good. Lights are all good. Power setting is good. Just full power. Everything is still set. What are we doing? We're flying GPS. We're now flying to Jokur, as you can see. We haven't put in our instrument approach because we're still halfway. I already set in my navs, which is good. We don't need any ADF.
Zero Bravo contact. Actually, your transponder just turned off. There it goes. It's back on. Contact SoCal 134.2.
But I already forgot what frequencies are where. So I should update myself on that. Still ATIS. We haven't got ATIS. It's in the COM2 active, and the COM2 is active on audio. Still, we're too far away. We know.
Right here, Romeo. Contact Oxnard Tower 134.905.
On the autopilot, easy going. So still everything is good. Hey, it is great. It's good to see you. But is this the 172? Props for you for using that for the I-5. I switched to a jet for that one on Keith's suggestion. Yeah, I can imagine. It takes some time. But as part of my series, I don't know if you know my series, I'm consistently flying the 172.
Romeo, Oxnard Tower,
and okay, well, it takes some time for the I-5, but I don't really care. I'm just enjoying myself here.
Wind
So,
0206.
it's the 172 for me. This craze, you can fly IFR into these busy fields. These guys are pros. They will get you in, but you have to fly down the ILS quickly, which can be done, yeah. Yeah, that's also something that Keith told me about.
Roger. Are you able to maintain 7,000 or you're
That especially for busy aircraft, and I guess also for Delta class airports, keep up that speed when flying IFR. Only slow down at the last moment, under safe conditions, obviously, so you can help ADC with that traffic flow separation. And when I was flying with Keith in the US last April, yeah, that was really fun sitting with him in his airplane, and we had the 737 in the back. We had a 737 that just departed the runway, exited the runway, and he was flying fast coming in. And the Lancer can go fast, but oh man, that was so cool. And what was most cool was not just looking outside and seeing 737s and we with our prop piston getting in, but the most cool of it all was how on top Keith was conceptually, intellectually, with everything that was going on. Now that was a very, very familiar flight to him, so this was, he could dream this. He actually dreamt about that flight many times during his training, he told me. But it was so cool to see. He was so fast, and also something that I was stunned by was also how hard it was to actually hear ATC talk, and it was also because I had a weird headset. But he was so quick.
Skyhawk with the G1000.
Total situational awareness. At least in my eyes.
6437, ident.
It was really, really fun, and I thought, okay, so this is the bar. This is what I need to attain. This is what I need to achieve with my sim flying. Yeah, it was really, really fun.
612 Charlie, Burbank ground, where you parked?
Alrighty, guys. Yeah, another 34 nautical miles to Danby.
612 Charlie, thank you, runway 15, taxi via Bravo.
Now, at around Wick, that you can see already coming up at the top, that's where another vertical crossing restriction might be in play for turbojets. There's a big mountain there underneath Wick, top set around 8,000 feet. So in mountainous areas we need to have at least 2,000 feet of separation, so add 2,000 on top of 8,000, that's 10,000. So I guess 10,000 would be the lowest to go. And even though the MEA here from Ceres onwards, which is a bit weird actually, allows us to go down to 7,000. Most likely we shouldn't. It's a bit weird why there's 7,000 there.
Practice for the Cat 10, correct?
And there's still 12,000 over there. I mean, I know there's a mountain there.
Roger. So what you have to do is,
well, for this reason, I guess ATC is going to tell us. It's going to tell us, well,
ask Torrance for permission to go to Hawthorne.
Start your descent after.
You need to exit the Torrance airspace without entering the Hawthorne airspace. Contact Hawthorne. Establish two-way communications, then you can enter. So you have to have the two-way communications established before entry.
Yeah, that's great. I totally agree with that. But that's still a quite a task to accomplish, at least in my mind, flying IFR. I know you have a lot of experience under your belt, but
of course you have to stay out of the Bravo. So I would recommend
the
going
shred
to
through
the
the
east.
ATC comes and all that stuff, but that's not realistic.
Roger. If you go to the east of Torrance, there's Echo airspace. It's south of Hawthorne Delta and east of the Torrance Delta. So once you're out of the Torrance Delta and out of the Hawthorne Delta, you can call Hawthorne and establish two-way communications and then enter. But if you enter without establishing two-way communications,
let's do another flow. Why not? 4 and a bit. 040. Yeah, we're losing a little bit of gyro drift there. So, tad there. Altimeter is still set. Attitude indicator, speed is still good. Temps are good. Pitot heat is on. Fuel quantity is good. AGT is good. Fuel flow is good. Oil temps is good. Pressure is good. Vacuum is good. Ammeter is good. Still charging.
Permission to do
no unshaded messages. Lights are all good.
Told to land, clear to land.
Power setting is good.
That means they're doing a full stop. So you want to let ATC know that
and
you
we're still on track.
Danby. That only applies to IFR
11,000.
IFR aircraft are cleared all the way
frequencies.
to approach 6, but VFR aircraft are not.
So we're coming up to Danby. That means that well, not coming up to Danby actually. 30 nautical miles to go.
As published, maintain VFR.
But Boulder City is something that we can already tune in, I guess. And that's going to be 213 is also set in with the OBS. Yeah, that's something that I could have done. Then I would really get a sticker from Keith, I guess. When I was also continuously still doing my slant alpha kind of setting here.
340.
So setting my navs and redialing my CDIs and stuff.
That's correct.
So that in case my GPS fails, I'm still ready to go. I know where I am, and I can still fly slant alpha. And I'm now just sitting back, looking at my GPS screen and think, oh, life is well. Life is wonderful. It's also part of something that I noticed Keith doing in his flight, in the real world flight when I was joining him. Redundancy in everything. So this is something that I should include as well in my flights. I admit though that it's quite comfy to fly like this. I mean, this is the power of GPS, but at the same time this is the risk. Also something that Finish on the stream has reminding me many times, like don't rely or over rely on the GPS. Accidents have happened with pilots here, and then suddenly the GPS breaks, and especially with the NDB approach, you suddenly need to fiddle around with other instruments. You need to be able to do that. So yeah, that's something I can definitely improve on as part of my training here in the sim. Yeah, what is that message actually?
So you're your aircraft type?
Personal license.
Squawk 4 Golf Sierra, departure frequency 134.9er, Squawk 2340.
This is great. So I think the GPS risk is extremely overstated, and the FAA also agrees with that. Oh, okay. Toto, you agree as well? The movement to next gen and disabling of many legacy equipment supports that. Okay. So then practically, do you guys, at least in the real world, incorporate those redundancies with the nav1 and nav2, even though you're flying on RNAV or GPS? Or do you skip that then for that reason? To have an engine failure before GPS failure. Yeah, I guess so, Toto. Okay, I can follow.
We'll go Santa Barbara departure.
All the time, 733.
Radar contact, but
what do you mean 733?
It took you.
That you are using
so when you're departing
redundancies
airport, if
or
you
no?
don't hear something within 1 minute or 1 mile, you need to query the tower. You went, let's see here, 13 miles out.
Much more likely you'll mess
so
up
miles, so about
the
20 miles of flight
GPS
distance.
and or accidentally click something and get stuck in some submenu, accidentally dump out the
tower and you had your
flight
transponder off the
plan.
entire
Yeah.
time. I thought you were disconnected.
Well, I thought that for
I'm
flying
gonna fail you
Stan
for
Golf
that.
IFR you need
So you go
2
ahead.
GPS units.
I can start over there.
Oh, that's true. I remember that conversation. So the redundancy would be have an
if you got
additional
blocked,
GPS.
That's something different, but I can't. I can't. I wouldn't have heard it, so I can't say if you did or didn't.
No, you don't need that second
Let's do this.
GPS. Okay.
If you could start back at
One is
Santa Barbara,
sufficient.
if you could start
Interesting
at one
conversation,
drive
guys.
Left, we can get you departed again.
Okay. That's interesting.
Yeah, you can do that. You can just start from the runway, and we gotta make sure your transponder's on this time and get the right code in there, and then we'll get you going. Yeah, keep the same code.
Yeah, I know that in the Europe indeed, Toto. Yeah, you can fly IFR with VRDME. Okay, well this is interesting. This is a nice conversation that I also like to have then with Keith, because he was really, really
If you just let us know and get permission and that's approved, if you're just going to pause right
stressing, underscoring that building redundancy stuff. And I kind of like that actually. Also just for the fun of it, by the way, but I thought primarily it was also a safety risk issue. But it's good to hear your opinions about this.
Alright, Lima Tango, stand by. Number 612 Charlie Burbank Tower, runway 15, clear for takeoff.
Yeah, I can follow this, Christ. And obviously GPS makes things a lot safer, situational awareness and all of that stuff there. I totally agree. But in terms of redundancies, I mean, yeah, I don't know why. Why that fear or...
Okay, number 5952 Charlie, again, you're inside the Torrance airspace, and you haven't established two-way communications yet.
Interesting.
With Torrance Tower. So that's the thing I think you're missing there is you have to stay outside of these airspaces. You think three-dimensionally. If you're at 2,400 or 2,300, you're inside the airspace. If you're at 2,500, you're outside the airspace.
Yeah, Todo, I guess so.
That could solve your problem there. Torrance Tower, number 5952 Charlie, Torrance Tower, enter right down the runway, 29 right, clear to land.
Mandatory in 2020. Interesting, disgraced. Yeah, obviously he's going to be pushed through, no doubt about that. Which I kind of don't like. I really like the 6-pack, the primary instruments, and those will still be there, obviously. But the whole glass thing and just one big GNS or G1000.
Los Angeles Center.com 2015, descend for flight level 260 Hollywood.
I don't like. It's not that I don't agree with it, but it's just a nostalgic kind of feeling. I don't know.
Number 11 Golf. Yeah, you just when you call that often, that frequently you're stepping on people. Recycle your transponder. It's not showing. Other aircraft call.
.com 2015.
Hey, Jason, good to see you.
55 for Hollywood.
.com 2015 Los Angeles Center, Roger, LA altimeter.
So you know they were right.
3006, .com 2015.
Number 11 Golf, thank you. Say wind 0405.
They cancel out, yeah. Alright guys, I have to be honest though, I'm kind of trying to prep here for my arrival, even though we got some ways to go, but Danby is coming up. COM2 is still on the ATIS of Las Vegas. We're still out of reach. Gonna expect some kind of crossing altitude restriction somewhere around. We're still at 10,000 MEA.
1507 Charlie, contact SoCal approach 128.1.
So no reason to ask for lower.
Air 612 Charlie, were you
I guess
instructed
after
to contact
Denby,
for-
that's when we're approaching Wig, that might be a time when we can expect something about a descent. Already see McCarran Airport already on the GPS.
This is for the I-5, correct? Air 612 Charlie, I can do for you the same thing. You can restart. You can reposition, holding short of the runway, and call the tower for departure. Yeah, so you're inside Burbank Tower airspace. You can't change your frequency without Burbank Tower's permission. Either you need to request it, request a frequency change, or wait for the frequency change. And as I was telling the other pilot, if you haven't heard anything
that's
within a
Wig.
minute or a mile up from the runway, then you need to request it.
Well, the mountain is not called Wig, but I think Wig is right on top of that mountain.
Right.
Or somewhere around. Or perhaps over there, I don't know. No, we're gonna make a slight turn. It's gonna be that, I guess.
24 Golf to your...
It's pretty though at 11,000 feet.
Torrance Sky, runway 29 right, taxi via Alpha Juliet. Last 4657, was that you call? Other aircraft calling us again. All 507 Charlie SoCal approach traffic.
That's nice, Toto.
miles opposite direction, altitude case 5,700.
I coded custom NDB radio wave propagation. My gosh, you are a freak. You are an aircraft developer freak and so inspirational. It's also a bit frustrating at some point because you show us how much room there is, and well, no, it's actually very good because you are also showing other aircraft developers that there's so much room to further care about the aircraft that they are producing. It's good stuff, but at least in my terms, when I'm trying to build the 172, I think, oh my gosh, yeah, that's something I can also do, and that's also something that we can do. It's also degrading my initial concept of the 172, like, all right, so there's a higher bar, so what I'm building here is actually quite inferior. I don't mind. I just love to learn how to, especially 3D model an aircraft, but then perhaps also get into that Lua scripting stuff. I hope that's not too difficult.
Plus 4657, roger, contact departure 120.55. PHTIM, cross Wig at maintain 10,000, Las Vegas, altimeter 3007.
Cross Wig, 10,000 to maintain and 07 for the altimeter. Alright, 10,000. It was at 10,000, yeah, so we should fly 10,000, yeah. And Wig is coming
up. 4657, Santa Barbara departure, radar contact, say intentions.
And 07 is still set. So, okay, crossover Wig. So that doesn't mean that we are now already cleared to descend to 10,000. Right, because we're still at Denby.
Further clearance, 18.
So does that mean that,
1751.
strictly speaking, I need to figure out how much time it actually needs? Well, it's just 1,000 feet, but how much time we would need to descend to 10,000 and get to Wig? Or can I start my descent after Denby? So I guess I'm going to do that after Denby. That's my feel.
Reserve Park Bravo, joining runway 16 right, localize.
Alright, coming up on that turn.
202 Whiskey, Roger, stand by.
Oh yeah, still I've got Saras, which is just 4 nautical miles. So I'm not going to start that descent just yet. Yeah, I guess that's still a good thing to do, flying on autopilot like Toto suggests, even though in case of error, but which is that unlikely. But I could have also repeatedly reset my Henning bug, even though it doesn't do anything because we're flying on nav mode. It's still a good thing. Also for my own thinking, I guess.
Reserve proper Bravo, you're over Umber, cross Umber 5000, cleared ILS runway 16 right.
Alright, coming up to Saras, and then after Saras I'm going to go down.
Plus 4657, climb maintain 4000. TACOM 2015, contact SoCal approach 132.37.
13237, TACOM 2015.
Reserve 7 Charlie, ClittRec, Los Angeles.
Still no Las Vegas. ATIS, COM2.
LA, Delta 3556, with you, level 340.
612 Charlie, what you'll have to do, because you, technically speaking, disconnected, you'll need to turn your transponder off and back on, and then recycle the code, turn it to something else, and put it back to what it is.
Coming up to Saras. And after Saras, let's go down.
Yep. TACOM 2015, heavy SoCal approach, LA altimeter is 3006.
There's Wig, we're just going to continue on our route. Let's go down.
Delta 3556, Los Angeles Center, good morning. Descend via Hollywood 1 arrival.
Okay, descend via the Hollywood 1 for Delta 3556, good morning.
Keep my speed up. Also keeps the engine warm.
Reserve Park Bravo, contact Van Nuys Tower 119.3. And 11 Golf, do you have approach course?
MC Karen INTL information Oscar.
Oscar.
2000
Reserve Park Bravo, Van Nuys Tower, runway 16 right, clear land 1 calm.
Visibility 7. Sky conditions indefinite.
Cheers, Jet 11 Golf, do you have an approach class?
Dew point 9. Altimeter 3005.
05.
Arriving runways 25 right, 25 left.
November 11 Golf.
Okay, so we got ATIS.
Do you have an approach request?
500 feet to go.
Say again? There's no VOR Alpha, you mean localizer Alpha? Golf, no problems. Cross San Marcos 6000, clear localizer, DME back course, Alpha approach, expect straight in runway 30.
No. Match real conditions. I reset it to manual once we were back when we were at Burbank because the visibility was too bad actually to take off.
612 Charlie. Did you get disconnected?
200 feet to go.
Okay, no problem. 612 Charlie, runway 15, clear for takeoff. Our 184 Golf, Sierra Torrance Tower, right crossing departure approved, runway 29 right, cliff takeoff. Or 2102 Whiskey, Whiteman ground, clear to Santa Monica Airport.
There's 10,000.
Whiteman 1 departure, Van Nuys. Then asphalt, maintain 5,000. Departure frequency 134.2.
Wake at 7 miles.
Squawk 2745.
So yeah, I guess it's because of that mountain, the Wake Mountain, that we're not going to exactly overfly, but I'd like to remain clear. Look at this beautiful scenery.
Runway 30, the runway 12's IFR not authorized.
Wow. That's pretty. Some cloud puffs over there. Very nice. Still EGT is nice and good. So we got assigned a crossing restriction for Wick at 10,000. Does that mean that after Wick we can still descend on our own accord?
Air 612 Charlie, contact departure.
I guess not. No, because it was maintain. It was 10,000 and maintain. Yeah.
Lotus 4657, Roger, clear to San Luis Airport via direct Morro Bay, direct, maintain 4,000. Affirm.
No problem, Unreal.
507 Charlie,
just
traffic,
ask.
9 o'clock, 1 mile, same direction on 2K 6500, typing on.
Look at that. It's so pretty.
2015 heavy SoCal approach, LA altimeter 3006. THGIM, contact Las Vegas approach 118.4.
118.4. 118.4, Papa Delta, Mike. 118.4. Switch. Las Vegas approach. Good day. Skyhawk Papa Hotel Tango Mike is level 10,000. Crossing restrictions for Wick at 10,000. We have Oscar.
612 Charlie, SoCal departure, radar contact, climb maintain 11,000.
Did he catch us?
612 Charlie, SoCal departure, radar contact, climb maintain 11,000.
Climb maintain 11,000 for 612 Charlie.
PHIM, Las Vegas approach, cross Creso at maintain 7,000, then fly heading 010, vector vision approach, runway 19 right, Las Vegas, altimeter 3007.
Creso will fly 7,000, so cross at 7,000, then 010 on the heading. We can expect visual approach for 19 right and 07 for the altimeter. Okay. Creso.
612 Charlie, stay heading.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah, so visual approach.
612 Charlie's heading
010.
All right, number 612 Charlie, what triggered your turn there?
Creso is, we still need to cross over Wick, so that crossing restriction is still in play.
Airport Golf Sierra, contact departure.
Yes, so at around
02 Whiskey Whiteman ground, runway 30.
Creso, 7,000. And then
number 612 Charlie, what started your
010. Yeah, exactly. And then we got the runways there. 19er left and 19er right. 19er right.
612 Charlie, how do you read?
So we're going to grab
here. Sorry
the downwind and land.
I was off my heading to the left. I came around to the right and then overshot in the process. 12 Charlie.
Okay, that's not the question. When you were on the 213 heading
after departure, crossing. We have crossed Wick.
What triggered you to start a turn to the north, to the right there?
Now we need to go to 7,000. It's 3,000 feet to go. So that's 6 minutes with 500 feet per minute. So we got plenty of time to do that.
In anticipation of getting the Van Nuys, and I should have waited for clearance on that, correct?
Give descent with your initial call should be 10,000 descending width.
Either it's very simple. Either the chart
doesn't need to hear about crossing restriction on the arrival. He knows they're there. Oh, Roger.
Then
okay.
Fly the heading.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
So, appreciate the help.
I thought that stuff I need to remind the other approach of as well. Approach controller.
612 Charlie, Roger. If you want to continue, fly heading 340.
Okay, good to know.
If not, you can just restart, I guess.
Yeah, I think I'll restart. I want to get this takeoff squared away here. Thanks a lot. 12 Charlie. I'm going to restart.
All right, so 19er.
Rob Tech Sparks. See ya.
Creso is 20 miles out.
Yeah, every weekend.
And we'll need to get that 7,000 once we're there. Which we can already do actually. But in terms of burn, fuel burn and efficiency in the flight, you like to stay up as long as possible. So I should actually be a little bit more proficient with be more quickly with calculating on what time we actually need to descend.
That's 184 Golf Sierra, SoCal departure, rate of contact. Or 210 Whiskey, say again.
Unreal, this is PilotEdge, pilotedge.net. Highly recommended.
Affirmative, runway 30 taxi Alpha.
Now, because we're descending, I might be choking my engine in our current lean mixture setting.
Hello, beach clearance 724 Romeo Juliet, radio check.
So I need to be careful. We're descending, it's still 30, heading is set, no annunciator messages, 07 on the altimeter. Speed is okay-ish. Obviously we're warming up.
Oliver, radio check it loud and clear.
We're over the red line, so I am just reducing my RPM just a bit. Quantity is good.
.com 2015, contact Los Angeles Tower 120.95.
EGT is good, fuel flow is good, temps are good, pressure is good, vacuum is good, M's are good, and lights we don't need just yet. Torpedo heat we can turn off.
Check that just waste 2 transmissions and then we end up doing just that, stepping on each other. Stand by 1. .com 2015 Heavy LA Tower, runway 25 left, land 1 variable 5.
Alright, still basic here.
Call Long Beach with a request, go ahead.
Tower 19 right is going to be 118.75.
Aircraft calling unanswered, go ahead.
19 right, yeah, 118.75 for Las Vegas Tower. Already set in the standby. We got Oscar, we know that. It's going to be a visual approach. Got the heading log on 19er. It's most likely going to be a downwind entry. What altitudes? Well, plus 1,000. So, if I get my airport here, and I get the airport elevation, it's going to be 3,100. You can also look at the airport facility directory to see if there's some traffic pattern mentioned. I guess not. I think I already tried to look it up. There's actually a second page. There we are. Okay, it's still going strong. Are we going to make that actually? 7,000. I could go
1507 Charlie, contact SoCal
a bit quicker.
4.9.
So calculating my descent profile is actually very important. I mean, 11 nautical miles to go. Yeah, it's a bit of a guess, which is not good.
A lot of sports. 4657 by approach request.
For 657, we got the weather information Delta and already asked for the full VOR approach from Moore Bay.
No problem. I missed it. 465.
No, I don't see anything mentioned here.
Alpha approach, expect circle runway 29er.
Expecting
of a traffic pattern altitude.
Cleared for the VOR approach from Moore Bay and expecting runway 29er. Pilatus for 657.
Number 1 will go. You appear to be. First you were climbing. Now it looks like you're level at 4,500. There. Are you flying the approach?
Northwest ramp.
Roger. I had some autopilot problems here, but now switch to manual.
Net Cresso 010.
Number 1 will go. Roger. Contact Santa Maria Tower 118.3.
118.3.
Or 2102 Whiskey Whiteman Tower runway 30. Cliff to take off.
Oh, that's good to know, Toto. So Python, is that also part of the Lua kind of scripting? I really need to dive into that stuff as well at some point.
From the runway again.
I feel a bit intimidated by all of that coding stuff. Like, I don't really like to engage another quite steep learning curve of months and months.
Squawk 3734. R11 Golf, Santa Maria Tower, runway 30, clear line.
Okay, coming up to 7,000. Dead end streets, am I? Okay.
612 Charlie, Burbank ground, runway 15, taxi via Bravo.
200 feet.
Other aircraft again.
That's on 1507 Charlie, level 6 down.
That's 1507 Charlie, so Cup Charlie, altimeter 3007.
3007,
Cessna TIM, traffic 12 o'clock, 3 miles westbound, altitude K6500, type on.
I'm looking for the traffic, Papa Taxi Mike. Well, was it 12 o'clock? Already forgotten. This is why TCAS would be very handy. Well, let's have a good look there. I was a bit hesitant because I didn't quite catch whether it was Papa Hotel Tango and Mike or TIM.
352 Bravo Papa, Burbank clearance, departure.
But then I recognized it, and then I was too late of actually processing what he said.
Departure frequency 134.2. Squawk 4234.
What a nice scenery. My gosh, it's so pretty. It's just desert, but it looks so pretty. Alright, it's going to be a quick entry here. 4 nautical miles to go. Full power again, by the way.
2, 3, 4, rest of back track.
And I'm talking about mixture. Look at my mixture there. My gosh. Still was choking my engine. Not good. That's because I didn't repeat my flow. That was a mistake.
2015 heavy Los Angeles ground taxi parking via Alpha.
Not good. All right. Cresso, 3 nautical miles.
2102 Whiskey, SoCal departure, rate of contact.
Now, what I could actually do is, rather than doing that, let's just continue with the autopilots. We're still in sync. 010 at Cresso.
011 go, contact departure 120.
So we just switch to heading mode. Look at those mountains.
612 Charlie, Burbank Tower, Viva is not picking up your transponder. Runway 15, clear for takeoff.
Alright, let's make that turn.
There it goes. Well, it's identical, but if you turned it on.
010. We're flying a vector.
Traffic 1 o'clock, 3 miles in the practice area. Eastbound, turning northbound, altitude gauge 4,500, type on.
We're looking, thanks, Search Whiskey.
So the airport must be somewhere around, I guess there. Looking at my GPS. So over there. Visual approach, we can expect it. We're not cleared for the visual approach just yet. That's the Dutch mountains. Well, we don't have those many Dutch mountains here in the Netherlands. So I guess the next call that we can expect from ATC is something like, do you have the airport in sight at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock? there's the city.
Cherokee 21028 information, Sierra request.
That must be the iconic tower. Yeah, no, it's not. That's well, that's a tower, but it's not the tower. There is that other field.
Cherokee 02 Whiskey flighting 090 vector.
Here it is.
Alpha approach spec.
Grayed out. Those are the runways that we are interested in.
Reserve 7 Charlie flighting 30.
One on the right, one on the left, and this is where we like to taxi. We like to park.
Sorry, sir, you caught us by surprise there. Could you repeat?
Reserve 7 Charlie, no problem. Flighting 300.
And any time now.
4000. Vector Burbank Airport. Contact SoCal approach 134.2.
Tower is already set in.
So left heading 300, descend and maintain 4,000.
Altimeter was 05, so once we are cleared for the visual approach, I'm going to reset my altimeter to 05. 3,100 for the traffic pattern altitude.
Reserve 7 Charlie, just you're partially blocked there, just confirm.
I think we're going to get a left downwind entry
heading 300 and descend
for
and
19 right.
612 Charlie, contact departure. 352 Barbara Papa.
Perhaps we can even tell him that we've got the airport inside.
Burbank departure, TBM 612 Charlie, coming through 2000.
2 Bravo Papa. Yeah, it was partially blocked, so I misheard what you said there. Runway 8 taxi via Charlie. 612 Charlie, still got departure, radar contact.
Las Vegas approach, Sky Corporate Delta Tango Mike, we have the airport inside. Or am I a bit too proactive here?
Local approach, that's on 152 Charlie. 5,500 feet descending, 5,000.
That's 1507 Charlie, SoCal approach, Burbank, altimeter 3006. Advise you have the weather, expect Dallas runway 8 approach.
Bring it on.
Altimeter 3006.
I'd like to turn.
The weather will be expecting the ILS approach runway 8 and a correction here.
And go down.
612 Charlie, flighting 340.
340 for 612 Charlie.
Other aircraft calling for clearance, say again?
I didn't ask for clearance.
All right, that's 2 of them. All right, so I got 2 people. One going to San Francisco, and I think the other one's going to Las Vegas. I'm not sure, but I just need call signs.
Well, I'm just on IFR, so I'm just going to continue here, but...
Delta 840, thank you. Other aircraft, go ahead. Delta 2901, thank you. Delta 840, Los Angeles clearance cleared to San Francisco Airport. Summer 1 departure, stealth transition, and a Surfer 4 arrival. Climb via SID. Squawk, correction, climb via SID, except maintain 5,000. Squawk 2377. Delta 840, read back correct. PHTIM, maintain 5,500.
5,500, Papa Delta Mike.
11 Golf, climb maintain 4,000.
5,500, okay. Just plain old vectors. There's the airport.
November 11 Golf, climb maintain 4,000.
Perhaps he's just extending our... We're already flying a downwind.
So maintain 4,300.
Looking at our heading indicator here. Oh, let's watch our prop there. Not going to exceed the red line. I mean, this is 19er. We're flying the inverse, obviously. So we're already on a downwind. So perhaps he doesn't like us to fly a downwind over the terminal area. So we're just flying all around and then one big base and then land.
5352 Bravo Papa, Burbank Tower, wind calm, runway 8, clip takeoff.
We are going to enjoy the scene.
THTIM cross, midfield downwind, at or above 5,500. Clear vision approach, runway 19 right.
Midfield downwind for the runway 19 right at 5,500. field downwind. All right, good. Heading off. Can I do that?
4 Golf Sierra, contact SoCal approach 135.4.
Guess not.
Approach 135.4, 4 Golf Sierra.
Whoppa.
612 Charlie, climb maintain 11,000, and good rate through 5,000.
All right, 5,500.
Climb on 1,000, good rate through 5,000. 612 Charlie.
Reserve 7 Charlie, flighting 340.
340, good return Charlie.
So apparently when I disable the heading here on the autopilot, it just keeps flying straight ahead, which is a bit annoying.
196 Echo Charlie over Lake Jennings, 4,500 feet. Looking for a full stop landing at San Diego Limber with uniform.
02 Whiskey, flighting 180, join the final approach course.
All right, seems like we're now heading towards the midpoint of runway 19er.
SoCal approach squawk 7445 ident.
500 feet to go.
7445 ident, 6 Echo Charlie.
So yeah, we are crossing the terminal area, but 5,500 or above.
We would like hand over to tower.
Then as our strobe lights are on, we're further descending, so enriching my mixture just a bit, which I shouldn't do actually if I look at my EGT.
SoCal approach Skyhawk 184 Golf Sierra is level 3,500.
That's something to improve on. Because I'm forgetting to enriching the mixture. I mentioned it when I was on the ground, I mentioned it when I was in cruise. Still, I'm forgetting about this.
Roger, clear direct land, resume departure for 612 Charlie. Just going to 5,300 now.
All right, cleared for the visual approach. So,
and Southwest would be the second. Other aircraft calls second.
I'm gonna. Were we cleared for the approach? Visual approach. I think we were, but I'm not quite sure. So I'm gonna request, and I'm forgetting while I'm
184 Golf Sierra, SoCal approach Ontario altimeter is 3006. 06.
Finish your tasks, Tim,
circle south at airport, left downwind runway 29
before you distract yourself with something else.
612 Charlie, clear direct Palmdale, resume on navigation.
All right, we're cleared for the approach, so we can also set our 05 Oscar, so we can go a bit up.
4 miles from Bevy, maintain 3,000 to establish final approach course, cleared a VOR Alpha approach, fixed straight in runway 21.
Maintain 3,000 to establish cleared for the VOR Alpha.
All right, so 4 seconds.
Reserve 7 Charlie, join the runway 8, localize.
Join the runway 8, localize, reserve Charlie.
Reserve 7 Charlie, 7 miles from Bevy, maintain 3,000 to establish runway 8 approach.
Descend and maintain 3,000 to the station and localize at ILS, runway 8 approach.
R2 Bravo Papa, radar contact departure.
We also need to switch over to tower, I think. It's interesting that approach clears us.
You missed the last 3 calls.
It clears us for the visual approach. Yeah. Not the landing.
Received the clearance direct Palmdale, resume on navigation for 12 Charlie, climbing to 11,000.
Perfect, thank you. So 3556, contact Los Angeles Center 126.35.
Okay, so back to 010. Very soon.
352 Bravo Papa, level 2500.
352 Bravo Papa, still cut departure, cancel out to restriction.
You can see we're coming in.
Cancel out to restriction, 2 Bravo Papa.
Reserve 2 Whiskey, contact Santa Monica Tower 120.1.
120.1,
Let's make that turn.
106 Echo Charlie, radar contact over Gillespie Airport, San Diego, altimeter 3007, you landing Limburg.
Landing on Limburg, affirmative, Echo Charlie.
Still high.
6 Echo Charlie, roger, make straight in, 5 miles straight in,
Well,
runway 27, cleared to Bravo.
We're crossing the runway here.
Straight in 27, 5 miles at or below.
The 26 runways are below here.
Bravo, 6 Echo Charlie.
But we're still high up, so I guess we're still fine.
Calling VFR flight following, didn't get your call sign, stand by. Southwest 2901, be just 1 second.
All right, we're on the downwinds.
3556, Los Angeles Center, LA altimeter 3007, contact SoCal approach 132.37.
Expecting a switch over to tower. Zero 9 right. Well, we did cross the runways, at least the numbers of 26 left and 26 right.
R210 Whiskey, Santa Monica Tower, runway 21, cut land. Next straight in. Wind 0603. PHTIM, contact Las Vegas Tower 118.75.
Over the tower, Papa Delta Mike. Las Vegas Tower, Sky Papa Delta Tango Mike is on the left downwind 5,500 with Oscar inbound for a full stop.
Delta 3556, SoCal approach, cleared ILS, runway 25 left approach, LA altimeter.
I know, Dodo, but we got a restriction of 5,500.
Hotel Tango Indy Mike, Las Vegas Tower, runway 19 right, cleared to land, wind calm.
Cleared to land, 19 right, Hotel Tango Mike. Boom!
Southwest 2901, Limber clearance, clear to Salt Lake City Airport, Zoo 2 departure, meatball transition as follows.
There we go. Alright, let's make this work. 19 rights. I'm not sure. Cool shock our engine here.
Departure, meatball transition, then S5. Land the SID and squawk is 3764.
Burbank Tower, Cessna 1007 Charlie, ILS approach runway 85 left.
Keep our speed up.
Southwest 2901, read back right. 1507 Charlie, Burbank Tower, runway 8, clear to land.
Runway 8, clear to land, 1507 Charlie.
Los Angeles clearance, Victor Jet 261 Alpha
There's
Bravo,
the city.
IFR to Las Vegas.
We are going down. Landing lights, everything is on.
Las Vegas Airport, Orca 3 departure, mice and transition.
Mixture full rich already, even though we're not below 3,000. We're clear to land 19 right.
Squawk 2031.
Lights are on, everything is on.
Clear to the Las Vegas Airport.
Shouldn't mind, but
departure,
ground,
transition,
yeah.
Then is filed. Climb via SID, except maintain 5,000. Departure frequency 125.2. Squawk 2031. 261 Alpha Bravo.
1 Alpha Bravo, back right.
Wow, this is cool.
Looks like you're going for a 3 mile straight in. 5 mile straight in means you need to be established on the final prior to reaching 5 miles.
Look at that. Yeehaw.
No word.
Overshot the runway. Quite a bit, actually.
Plus 4657 taxi to parking via Alpha Pass for I-10.
But we are enjoying ourselves.
Parking taxi via Alpha.
Alright, still keeping my speed up.
12 Charlie, contact, so
lights on, everything is on.
Approach 126.1.
Got one red there on the poppy lights.
2 Bravo Papa, contact, SoCal approach 135.4.
Alright. So this is where I like to park, so the sooner we get off the runway the better. Weird. My idle is I'm completely idle with my throttle, but I'm still at 1800 RPM. Even if I push forward the throttle and turn it back again. 1 notch of flaps.
6 Echo 2, number 6 Echo Charlie, thanks for that. Contact number tower 118.3.
There goes the speed. Wait until
612 Charlie.
We get into the white band there.
Approach the Palmdale.
There we are. Second notch of flaps. Good. And full flaps. There we are. McCarran International for the I-5, guys. The I-5. Did I make it?
106 Echo Charlie, Limerick Tower, runway 27, clear to land, wind calm.
Clear to land 27, 6 Echo Charlie.
Kevin clearance, good morning, November 431 Charlie, Quebec is a Cessna Skyhawk, plan golf with information golf ready for VFR to Palomar, requesting flight following, please.
Slowly down. Good.
429 Charlie, Quebec, gentleman clearance, are you the one that I told to stand by?
That's from
there we are.
And it's November 431 Charlie, Quebec.
431 Charlie, Quebec, correct?
That's correct, 1 Charlie, Quebec.
And Monica 0221 on the east side, report taxi hangars.
All right.
Reserve to Whiskey, taxi parking, have a good day.
Parking with you, thanks for your help, Reserve to Whiskey, good day.
421 Charlie, Quebec, what's your direction
Boom.
departure? You say flight following
Very good.
to Palomar,
Thousands.
That's affirmative,
Flaps
1
up.
Charlie, Quebec.
Let's lean for ground.
Papa Hotel Tango Unit Mike, taxi to parking via November Hotel.
Can we also park here just in front of us here on the northwest ramp, if that's possible?
Yeah, November is, you're on November, so if you go straight, all the way straight on November, you'll run into the hotel there.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. Thanks. We'll taxi November Hotel to ramp. Thanks for the help today. Did we pass for the I-5?
PHA, I'm affirm.
Thanks, great, thanks. Yeah.
It's going to take me just a second to enter it though, so just give me if you get to the ramp quickly, just give me a minute before you disconnect.
Ah, good one. I will. Thanks. All right. Great. Made it, guys. Landing lights off, strobe lights off.
November 1128.
No monitor ground, just straight ahead. So
both of you stand by.
Apparently I wasn't really. There's November
on departure
and hotel.
150, maintain VFR out below 2,400.
I could have prepped that actually.
Squawk 2137.
I can just go this way, I guess. Even though I'd like to park over there. Well, I don't really mind that much.
November 431 Charlie Quebec.
431 Charlie Quebec.
Thanks, guys. Scamper, Skim, Disgraced.
Delta 3556, contact SoCal approach 124.9er. PHIM, it hasn't gone in, hold on.
I don't really mind.
There we go, went in, it's in there.
Super, thanks.
Delta 3556, SoCal approach LA
All right.
3007.
Let's pretend that this is our place to be. Pretty big for a 172, but I don't really mind.
2 miles.
Alrighty there.
3,900, type of
altimeter off. Let's reset it to 1200. My autopilot is apparently still on. No, it's off, but there's still a heading indicator, which is a bit weird to me.
He's just right here.
I guess we need to upgrade to 0.30. Alright, and then avionics off. We can do a quick MAC test. Seems to be okay. And cut off. Very good. Magneto's off, batteries off. Parker brakes are still set. Fuel tanks set to either side, low wing. I don't really care. And there we are. I-5. Next one is I-6, and I think from now on it's going to get a little bit more difficult, guys. Thanks, Chemo, for the cheer there. Yeah. So, I don't actually know by heart what the I-6 is all about, but I think now it's going to get a little bit more complex. Also missed approaches and stuff, which is actually pretty exciting. So, cannot wait to do that. Guys, thanks again for joining me on the stream. I really appreciate you guys coming in. Around 40 or 44 souls aboard after me not streaming for several months, quite irregularly at the moment because I'm so busy with work. There is more time coming up in my schedule to fly more often, or actually to also build my 172 more often, but first I'm going to complete the I ratings. So please hang on and well, keep those notifications going here on my channel so you get notified once I start streaming again and you can jump aboard and help me improve my flying. Learned some interesting new stuff there. Toto, thanks for all your comments here and suggestions. Kim, thank you for all your feedback. I really appreciate that. And of course everyone for just joining in. Makes things a lot more cozy and interesting and educational, I think. I think dinner is already far ready. Mrs. Uncertified is already waiting for me, so I'm going to quit the stream here. Let me see. Let's quit this one and give it a more formal ending. So next up is the I-6. I have no date yet in mind on when I'm going to start the I-6. But if you're interested in catching that one as well live, then please have a look at my Twitter or Discord and stuff. Oh, Mrs. Uncertified is signaling that it still takes 5 minutes to finish the dinner. Either way, though, I'm also burned up here in terms of a very long flight. I think this is the longest flight that we ever did here on the stream. Thanks, Kim. See ya. Thanks, Chemo. Dodo, thanks again, all you guys. I really appreciate it. I mean it. Also some new follows, which is good, and a subscription there by Kim as well of 5 months. Appreciate that as well, obviously. But again, I don't have a date for the I-6 yet, but if you're interested, keep a watch on my Twitter or Discord or Facebook, and you will know. And you can join me in on this adventure of becoming a instrument-rated sim pilot here on PilotEdge, which is the final goal of my primary series, this series, season 2. And next up is going to be the build of the 172, which is up next. Thanks again for watching. Appreciate it, guys. Have a great Saturday, great weekend. Hoping to see you very, very soon. Bye.
Palm Springs Tower is currently Hotel Tango. Mike is 10 miles north of airport at 3000. Information X-ray for a full stop. Landing 13 left. That's it.
Hotel Tango, Indy Link, Palm Springs Tower, squawk 6250.
6250.
Hotel Tango, Indy Link, Palm Springs altimeter is 2985, radar contact about 10 miles west of the Palm Springs VOR. Presently landing runway 31, requesting straight in for 13.
That's it.
Ever correction, Hotel Tango, Indy Link, make straight in runway 13 left, and clear to land. Wind is 0905.
Clear to land runway 3 left.
Palm Springs clearance, plus 4658 is type PC12 slam call, request clearance to Vegas S found.
Plus 4658, Palm Springs clearance. Good afternoon. Unable to give you S file, I'll be forward sailing. Plus 4658 is cleared to the Las Vegas Airport via Flight Cathedral 1 departure procedure to Palm Springs, Victor 370 to 29 Palms, Victor 538, Cresso, join the Cresso 3 arrival. Maintain 7,000. Expect flight level 2405 minutes after departure. Departure frequency 126.7, squawk 6316.
4658 is cleared to Vegas via Cathedral 1, Palm Springs, Victor 37029, Palms, Victor 538, Cresso 3. Initially climb 7,000, expected cruiser after 5, departure 126 squawk 6316 plus 465.
Plus 4658, readback is correct. Tango Indy Mike, taxi to the ramp via Echo, remain this frequency.
Taxiing to the ramp via Echo, remaining on this frequency. Papa Hotel Tango Indy Mike.
Ontario Tower, Cessna 237 Charlie Alpha, approximately 4 miles to the west, inbound to land.
Number 227, Charlie Alpha, roger, inner left, traffic, left downwind, runway 26, left, report base.
Enter left